are listening to The Mountainside, and joining us in studio for this episode is my friend Adam Nelson. He's the co-owner of Salida Gun Shop, conservationist, outdoorsman, podcast host. Adam has played an integral role in advocating on wildlife policy, gun laws, and so much more. It was an honor and privilege to have Adam on The Mountainside for the first time. Enjoy our conversation. Adam Nelson, welcome back to The Mountainside.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Thank you for making the drive. A little over 2 hours just to come visit us today.
About 2 hours, yeah, right there.
Really appreciate it. You've been on my short list for quite some time. I have a lot of people on the short list right now, but I'm finally starting to check some boxes, and I'm a big fan of you personally, and I want to thank you right out of the gate for everything that you've done, not only in the firearm side of stuff, but for wildlife policy and helping Coloradoans for responsible wildlife management and SaveTheHunt.com and like showing up at commission meetings and like, thank you so much, man. You've been an integral part of the fight and such a good face for it. And not to mention even the Salida Gun Shop podcast, like you guys are really just hammering it home, and it is a great podcast. Like if you haven't listened to it, I urge any Mountainside listeners, if you're a regular, pop over to Adam's channel. We have links right in the show notes. It's kind of the next level. I'm a little jealous of like editing and like it looks awesome, man.
I got to be honest, it's not me, but before going any further, I do want to say thank you to everything that you've done for Dan, because a lot of people don't realize, I think from maybe our listeners or just our echo chamber, the amount of effort that you put in and help Dan with is gone way under the radar for like the actual like time and energy that you helped, which maybe your face wasn't there, but like the time, the effort, like everything that you've done, I saw it. I think what was cool is Dan mentioned your podcast and using the podcast room. And I was like, oh, I'll check that guy out. And then you ended up interviewing a dude I used to work with.
Oh, really? Who is that?
Chris.
Oh, you guys were on an ambulance together. So Chris Lockhart.
Yeah. Chris Lockhart.
Yep. Shout out to Chris, man. Yeah. He's a stud.
Yeah. I've always kind of followed him, just like, I don't know, creeper status on social media.
Dude, he's a hammer, dude. He's a scary human being for like... Don't judge a book by its cover,
Yeah, I worked with him for quite some time, and then in just small world, right?
Yeah.
This world is really small, especially I would say this network of people, of good people. It just is smaller and smaller. The more you get involved, the more you start to talk to people, the more you're like, wait a second, X, Y. Oh my gosh, that's like my cousin's friend from wherever.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is a wild world, man. And it's kind of cool. Like everything that I'm doing in business now, on advocating on wildlife policy, on having people on the podcast, like it all collectively kind of blends together. And it's all because of this table and the conversations that we've had here and the friendships that I've created at this table. Like, Dan and I wouldn't be as tight if I didn't have him on the podcast, right? And just like, I really figured out who Dan was that day.
Dan is, there's more than what meets the eye, right? Dan is, nobody else exists like Dan.
He's one of a kind.
His knowledge, his vocabulary, his experience, like all of that stuff. And I actually got to go out with him on his trap line.
Really?
And it was like, oh, this guy knows everything, right? And not only does he know everything, or I don't know, it seems like, right? Like
his public speaking capabilities, trump mine, dude. There's no way. He is irreplaceable and a major asset. And it's like, I appreciate you giving me some shine, but I don't need that, man. I did it because I truly care about the cause, and I think most anybody in the room truly cares about the cause or that's been in this room.
Yeah.
And I've invited the adversaries on, and they won't show up. But anyways, to take it off the politics side of stuff, it's genuine people that are 100% honest and authentic.
Yep.
And it was just a pleasure to be able to spend 2 uninterrupted hours with Dan. And now that's turned into like probably 12 hours. And then beyond that, because
Right.
he started through the gates in here and we kind of helped, get that off the ground a little bit. And I can't take any credit for any of the content or anything that was on. We just gave him the space. And I was like, hey, dude, this is my way to help. So like, I wouldn't have helped if I genuinely didn't want to.
Right.
And it was not I didn't expect anything in return. I don't even expect a thank you, man.
Yeah.
Like all I want is Colorado to be what it was when I grew up. So my kids and their grandkids and so on and so forth can experience what Colorado is for what is family heritage to me, really, So like, I don't have millions of dollars I could throw at it. Honestly, if I did, I probably would.
Yeah.
Because it means that much to me. But like, I think time is worth more than money. And like, I'm so fortunate to have this platform and people support me, man. And it's like, it's a trickle down effect to where, dude, I can really make some change or a little bit of change, right? Like,
absolutely.
And people have told me that firsthand. So I'm really thankful. It's almost divine the way it all worked out and who I was able to help, And
the big thing with that, like I would say the same thing. My business partner and I don't want to be social media influencers. What we want to influence or what we want to get out there is truth, right? We want to put the truth out there. We're not one side or the other. We want wildlife policy to be science-based, right? And I want people to kind of come back to the table, right? Like let's have these conversations, hard conversations of like, hey, is this really the best way to manage stuff? Or is this not the best way? Or, hey, we kind of ran this gamut of rules, laws, regulations, or whatever. It's not working. Where's the money going? What's going on with the money, Mm-hmm. And I know, the industry I work in or that I'm a part of is politics. I mean, it's politics, right? Like our industry is constantly plagued by poor political decisions based on emotion instead of, okay, what really happened here? And, I mean, I do feel for people that have lost their lives to gun violence or suicide. I mean, that's one thing I would say that affects our area more than others.
Well, it's the leading cause of death in the United States right now. I mean, over heart attacks, which is crazy, right? Like,
it's big. I mean, it's not really being addressed by anything other than feel-good policies that don't work.
It's ugly, man.
Yeah.
It's
so like my whole thing is kind of going back to it is I don't care about being famous or whatever. I moved to Colorado to hunt. That's all I'm here for. That's what I came for. And everything I came here for is slowly slipping away or being written out of existence. And now what I'm starting to see is the heritage of Colorado being kind of just pushed aside and, well, this is the new Colorado and this is how it is.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of really awesome families who settled in Colorado, who made Colorado what it is and what it was. And where we're going it seems like to me not good.
Yeah.
Not good, right?
I mean, if you look at how far we've come in the last 120 to 150 years, right? Like right here in the streets, you could go out and shoot somebody in the face. You had to do it like a gentleman, right? Like face to face. But you could do that if somebody pissed you off, right?
Right.
And now I'm not saying that that's good or that's the best way to handle a situation, right? Because that's not good.
Yeah.
Let's just agree on that.
Yeah.
But we've come up with this whole new set of problems where nobody is really held accountable for what they say. The most, honestly, it kind of gains people fame. Like, let's just take Rogan, for example, when he's screwed up, or when Tony Hinchcliffe has made some sort of comment, they try this cancel culture.
Yes.
Well, all it does is make them bigger and their platform bigger, right? So now you have people that are out there trying to do that. It's a freaking mess on all levels, whether you're right-leaning, left-leaning, pro-gun, anti-gun.
Yeah.
We're being fed so much BS that I've really, really tried to take a stance here at the mountainside, because we got really caught up in not chasing an algorithm. I was never doing anything to, like, it was always portraying the person that's sitting in your seat, right? To the best of my ability. And we were trying to grow the channel. And I just realized and saw how much hate was going on in a 1 minute clip, right? Man. And you know the controversy with your, it's basically creating a ring or an octagon for people to duke it out in the comments
without any consequences.
No consequences. So although we're still playing in that ball field to kind of let people know what's coming up, I've limited myself. Like, I've limited myself to social media. I'm like, okay, I want to push people back to these conversations. This is where the meat is at. I think podcasts might be one of the only things that might be saving our country a little bit, because if we just had 1 minute clips of everybody, and if you were only fed the narrative that was on CNN or Fox News, we'd be totally screwed. I think, like, there's so many people that are taking in podcasts, and maybe it's not the mountainside, and be careful what you do take in, but there's people that are listening to Rogan and, like, Sean Ryan and some of these other huge platforms, right? Like Tucker Carlson and stuff, and really taking a lot away from it, because a lot of those guys aren't, like, spitting something or some agenda or anything like that. They're just talking it out and having a conversation. And I think that that's something that's lost in that 1 minute clip, where you can't do that. So yeah, I urge other podcasters, let's push it back to the long form and don't set a time limit on it. You know, like, if your podcast is 1 hour and you're, like, in it and it's a great conversation, keep that going, man.
Along those lines, I would say, this is a conversation that I had with a great buddy of mine, Ironman Hitch, that helped us build the buckles that were given away.
Okay.
And the conversation was we were down at his place in Lahara, and we had a great day, and we were just kind of sitting around a dinner table, just having conversation. And I said, more people have to forget about getting home and going to bed than having that conversation, talking those things out, and then moving forward. Because who knows, at the end of the day, tomorrow's not guaranteed, and we need to have those good conversations all the time. And when you have the opportunity to have them, have it. Be understanding of other people's points of views, or maybe how they were raised or whatever. Like, I think about that all the time when I'm having a conversation with somebody at the shop. Like, I want to devote as much time to that person as possible. It's not always possible, but like I want to talk to people for a while, just so it's not like, beep, that's it. Right. And the agenda stuff.
Well, I think if you do that, because I do that on a regular basis on purpose, like I am locked in, and I try to do it with my family. It's kind of that lead by example, because quite frankly, if I didn't come home and say, hey, we're doing this, or let's go do this, or let's take the dog for a walk, they would all just sit on their own platforms taking in what they want to take in. Like, families don't do stuff as families anymore unless it's forced or somebody's implementing that as a parent, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, if you go to restaurants and you sit down and the adults are having a conversation, And when I was a kid, you were expected to sit at the table, be good.
Yep.
Hopefully you were at like an old school Pizza Hut where they had like Pac-Man or something in the back and like you could run around a little bit. But you were kind of expected to shut up and listen. And I gained so much out of that. I never realized that. But now you look on planes or anywhere, everybody's just locked into their own little, half-foot bubble, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And they're so tuned out of everybody else, and maybe they're listening to podcasts. Hopefully they're listening to the mountainside. But I really do have to like go out of my way. Like it's the same thing at the gym that I go to.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their headphones in, but I will purposely talk to people.
Yeah.
And I've met some amazing fucking people at the gym.
Yeah.
Like honestly, one of the guys that I go to the gym with 3 times a week, retired ATF dude. I've been trying to coax him to come on here because he's got so many stories.
Right.
Coolest motherfucker ever, man.
Yeah.
Just a rad guy to talk to. To now it's becoming a little bit of a problem when I'm at the gym because we spend 30 minutes like chopping it up. But he's a friend, you know? He's offered to come help me out. He's come checked out the studio. He's like, I've taken him to some fights, and introduced him to this whole new world. And it's like, in that community, when shit happens, people are checking up on you. It's kind of that tribal mentality, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying, man. And I urge people, just even if it's the gas station attendant or whatever, man, just ask them how they're doing. You don't have to agree with everything somebody says, but like more times than not, I'm shocked at the conversations that I have with somebody with blue hair that's totally left leaning.
Right.
And just having a conversation, by the end of it, they're like, oh, I'll check out your podcast. And I said, well, please don't be offended. It might offend you, but it's authentically me. And and I end up being friends. I'll see those people again in town. I live in a small mountain town, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, and I'm sure you see it here too, but we see it a lot. I feel like I see it a lot during the summertime when you have a lot of vacationers and things like that, where you just see people that have gotten to this like stage in their life or where they live where another human being isn't a human being anymore, where they just talk down to them or yell at them, whether that's, I would say one of the major places I see it at is like at restaurants, These are all community members to me, right? To me, these are community members. These are people that are providing for the community and helping out and doing their hustle. And I've seen some people where you're just like, whoa, man, like, why would you ever talk to somebody like that?
That's how you get spit in your food.
Yeah, seriously. Honestly.
Or worse, you know?
Oh, yeah. Nobody saw
I never send anything back to the shop. I don't care if my steak is totally well done and I ordered medium rare, dude. I'm going to eat that thing. Like, it is what it is,
Yeah. But like along those lines, like people just forget that these are people. Like,
and have some compassion and grace, man. It's like, I really think that just taking a step back from your own world and having some compassion for what other people are going through, even if it doesn't seem like a big problem to you. Like, I think that that's one thing the podcast has also given me is a level of humbleness to know where my place is and how many people that I've had in that have just like tragedy is a daily thing for them and their outlook on life is so strong. Like, how could I be upset? You know what I mean? Like, I have friends that are battling brain cancer and going in for brain surgery this week. I have friends with no limbs, and are still refusing to give up and just have fun. And they're some of the most fun people to fucking be around and genuine and like caring, so it's hard when you have those prime examples of that and somebody's complaining about their hotel room bed and how shitty it was and the pillows suck and this breakfast sucks, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like people will, I naturally do it myself. Like, I'll find a reason to be upset sometimes. And I think if you can just catch yourself and think about your community or your tribe, like, it's not that bad, dude.
It's funny you say that because I have a group of friends that, will travel to shoot matches or whatever. And a great dudes, and they that's one of the things that will come up, right? Like, oh man, it's really loud in here, or the pillows weren't soft or whatever. And I'm like, well, my previous life I would fall asleep standing up, and
Right.
you know, just like, I don't know, I've trained my body to just not think about that stuff. I guess that is not a, you know, you just don't think about that stuff. But I know what you're saying. Like,
Yeah. It's a good outlook to have, man. It makes you have those conversations. So I guess what I was saying was like, go in and just listen to somebody.
Yeah.
You don't have to reply.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell somebody. You don't have to fix the problem either. A lot of times you can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little compassion goes a long ways, I think, no matter what it is.
We tell our guys that too. You know, when somebody comes in and they're asking a question about certain things, we say, 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Listen to what somebody's trying to say to you, because whether that's you know, they have a huge hunt in front of them, or maybe they have a life hurdle that they're trying to get over. You know, there's not one single option for something, right? There's always other options, right? Defensive classes, you know, pepper spray, all different types of stuff. Maybe they just need a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, talk them through it, of like whatever it may be. But it's like, listen, like 2 ears, 1 mouth. Just listen to what people have to say first.
Yeah.
Versus like, hey, take this or buy this, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, I think that makes a good pro shop environment, whether you're going into an archery shop, a fly shop, whatever. It's like,
absolutely,
just listen to what people want to do. Don't force feed them anything.
Yeah.
And treat them nice, man, because not everybody's going to have the level of experience in firearms that you do, you know?
And honestly, I could say this, like, I don't feel like I'm the expert at anything, really. Like, I have a knowledge basis that is more than some, but less than others. You know, some guys have devoted their lives to it, whether that's, you know, going through the military or, you know, they shoot professionally or anything like that. There is one thing I will say. I'm not going to push a product that is not appropriate, like that is just for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we will not carry products like that. We don't I hate that. I hate marketing behind some stuff that is to sell an item. I do not like that type of stuff, because what we try to carry, at least in my mind, what we try to carry is stuff that works, stuff that's quality, and companies that back the product. Like, recently, a good friend of mine bought something and from a company that came recommended, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, it's a good product as far as I know. Well, he has had nothing but problems with the customer service side of things. And I'm like, no more. We will never carry that product again.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, if I can't trust it, if my customers can't trust it, my friends can't trust it, like, why would we carry it? Why would we push that? For margin? I don't give a shit about margin. It just doesn't, it is not something that I think about personally.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think you're a diamond in the rough, man, because I think a lot of people get caught up in that. You know? And I think it can be in any sort of business that you're in too, whether it's a freaking gas station or a firearms dealer, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, you even probably plays down to restaurants, right? Like, who do they get their food from? What are the margins on, you know, the chicken or whatever? I get it. It's a game of numbers. At the end of the day, I think my business partner and I are more about, you know, what our shop stands for is, you know, community education, awareness, like that type of stuff. That's what we're into. Like, we want to educate the public. We want to carry products that are legit, not just carry something to sell.
I need to apologize to you because I haven't been down to the shop yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the trip. I'm going to come down there. And actually, I probably need to do it before August.
Yeah.
I have something that I want to order, but, you know, I just haven't pulled the trigger yet, literally. Yeah, no. So I guess, man, we're a half an hour in, and this is my own greed. What I wanted to do with you today is learn about Adam, man, because we've spent so much time together in and out of here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reset us here for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's rewind way back.
Okay.
Grew up in Northern California, right?
Yeah. So I grew up in the Bay Area. I grew up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. My brother actually still lives in the house that we all grew up in. Well, kind of. For lack of it's been redone. But so I grew up in Santa Cruz Mountains. Played baseball, soccer throughout school, high school. My dad died at an early age, so my dad died when I was 12. And then that kind of got me on a different path, I guess you would say. I really got focused. I pulled away from baseball, played a lot of soccer, had an opportunity to go to the Military Academy, IMG Academy, which is what it's called now, which is down in Florida. And it's I don't know how else to say it other than it is a school where a lot of like wealthy kids go. And my opportunity was to try to get a scholarship there to play soccer for college. Unfortunately, I mean, for me, it was, I wasn't good enough. So I didn't get the scholarship, and then came back and got back into high school. Well, I was completing my senior year, and the counselor says, "Hey, you're not going to have enough credits to graduate." And I was like, "What?" Because I missed a little bit of school, just trying to get this opportunity. So I ended up going to the continuation school, and they were like, "If you go to continuation school, you can do this, and then you can get your diploma, and it's all the same." I actually was super stoked on it because I ended up at the continuation school, and it was a lot less of busy work, and it was like, complete these projects, get to do this. And so literally I would sit down, okay, complete this, boom, and then I'd play volleyball on the beach, or play soccer for a club team or whatever. So that was pretty cool. And then got out of high school, and I had another opportunity that kind of landed on my plate, which was going to EMT school right out of high school. So went to EMT school, did that. I thought it was a good time. It was easy for me to accomplish that, I guess you could say. It was something I was interested in. It was something that I kind of found out was that if it's something I'm interested in, I'll actually put effort. If it's something that I'm not interested in, then I could care less.
That's me too. I gotta have interest.
Yeah.
Can we rewind a little bit?
Yeah.
And we don't have to go down this road too heavy if you don't want to, but I have so many friends that have lost their dads or their father figures at a young age. I didn't grow up with a father figure. I mean, luckily I had grandparents and uncles and stuff that stepped into those roles. My mom was there. She was awesome.
Yeah.
But it's kind of that single mom, and your mom's a widow at that point,
oh yeah.
How did that affect you as a young man? And it's crazy because the correlation that I'm making with it is a lot of the guys that I know that grew up in that situation are business owners, are crushing it at life now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still this huge void there where it's like, man, I wish this would have happened.
For sure.
But like, it made me grow up faster. It made me be a bit more of a protector and kind of the man of the house and have a bit more responsibility. And
for sure. I would say the years that I did have with my dad, that he set a great example for me and set strict rules and goals in life, right? And conversations. So my dad had asthma, really bad asthma, and the conversation would always come about as I got a little bit older, not old, but he would say, one day I won't be here. You just move on. So like that was like always a thing in the back of my head was like he had said that to me. So after he passed, yeah, my mom, I didn't realize it until many, many years later. I had some old stuff from him and like an old checkbook. For some reason, like I just grabbed a box of his stuff, threw it in a box, and it's traveled with me everywhere, right? Every move I've ever made, I never threw it out. Then one day I opened it up and I was looking through the checkbook and I'm like, holy crap. There was like less than $100 in the checking account.
Back when you used to balance your checkbook, like on the
yeah. And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, I'm like looking at that, and I was like, whoa, they were really doing it. Like, I mean, because we had nice gloves, nice bats. You know, we played lots of baseball. We traveled. We did all that stuff, and that was really interesting to look back on that and go, whoa, that's kind of crazy. My grandparents did step in huge, right? On my dad's side, and even on my mom's side, they stepped up, right? They, they helped us through it all. My mom worked for Northrop, so she was super busy with, keeping a job and
can't bring your kids to that job.
Yeah. Even though she did, there were some times that we did end up there, but what I would say is she hustled like none other. And that took me a while to realize that too, and, later in life. But it was like one of those things that was like, holy crap. It was not, sure, where we grew up is middle upper class, right? Mm-hmm. But the only reason why my parents were successful is because they hustled.
Razor's edge, man.
They had opportunities, they took advantage of it, and they just were, I don't know how to say it, but they just like kept driving forward, even with like my mom lost a kid to SIDS. So I had a sister that was born a couple years after me that died from SIDS. And then, just life stuff. I mean, it definitely changed my outlook on life, right? So when dad dies, right? I get into the EMS or paramedic stuff, and it's just like, that's life, man. And it sucks. And it really affects a lot of people differently, right? Recently I lost my mom to cancer. So
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. That was a tough one, honestly. It was super tough because it was like, man, she busted her ass, right? And she retired, and then 6 months later was diagnosed, right? And so she, the good of the story is she was diagnosed, and she just was like, fuck it, let's go. Hawaii, started just doing vacations, enjoying life, and the thing that I would say that like anybody who's in that position or has a family member in that position is be their advocate. Be their medical advocate, be their advocate, be there for them. My brother did an unbelievable job just being there. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, she just became a number.
It's terrifying, man. I'm going through that with a family member right now, man, and I'm sorry, bro. Like, it's rough, and you need an advocate there. You're 100% right, because those doctors will just feed you whatever, and whenever. I don't trust them.
She was receiving top-notch treatment from Stanford. She was in some trial studies for some stuff, and they, at the end of the day, I mean, it just became, well, this is the end of the road. And I would say the one thing I could say from my job previously to now, being on the other side of the coin, is that end of life stuff. One, it's not an easy road. Two, there aren't very many people in that industry that can navigate it well. I would say your people in the hospice realm are just unbelievable, wonderful people that deal with, death on a regular basis. But it's, sending people out with dignity and comfort. And that was like one thing that just blew my mind is I got a phone call from my brother and he's like, you need to come out now. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, something is totally wrong. And this is after my mom had a couple trips to the ER and in the last week. And I got out there and I was like, oh, yeah, we are well past treatment, well past something happened in the last week that is not good. And having that conversation of, no, you need to bring hospice in. Mm-hmm. We can't, we are past going to the ER. We are past, going, getting treatment, and just getting somebody, and I understand that, these doctors and whatnot want the best for people, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that are on their doorstep that need also the same help. And
crossing that threshold is hard.
Yeah.
I had to cross it twice in the last couple of years because you wonder if you're making all these questions come up. Am I making the right decision? Is this
right
the best move? Is there, what is quality life going to be like
that
after this?
That's a big thing.
So crazy, man. And it takes a toll on you, especially if it's your hero.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going through right now is it's my hero laying there,
The big thing I would say is at the end of the day, remember it's the quality of life and not the quantity. Mm-hmm. Right? Because there's a lot of people out there they're not them. Mm-hmm. That's not that person, right? That was one thing I always told people when we were, on a cardiac arrest or something like that, where, you had done all the stuff and, done everything you could, and it just, they were gone. I would always tell family, it's your choice if you want to go in there. My recommendation is that you remember them for who they were and not what they are now.
100%.
Because that's the last picture you want in your mind of that person, right? Yeah. When my grandfather passed away, my grandfather was 6'4", 230 his whole life, 250, right? Big dude.
Man.
Just, he was a Navy pilot, he ran the show, that type of thing. And when he got cancer and I had made a visit, a couple months prior to his passing, and it was like, oh my God, he's 140 pounds and not the person who I remember, right? Recently I had an uncle pass away who was my Colorado hero, I guess you could say, right? I wish I would have gotten out here earlier because he was Colorado. He grew up in Colorado. He trapped. He hunted. He ranched. He packed mules. He did all the stuff. And when I was a little kid, when I was 9, I visited Colorado. And I was like, whoa, is that what it's like out there? That's cool. And I think that forever stuck in my mind,
Is that what kind of brought you to your love of hunting and stuff, was him and what he was doing? Or?
No, not really. To be honest with you. I mean, sure, it always stuck in the back of my mind, but I love dogs. And I was like, hey, I can get into bird hunting and get into like deer hunting and stuff like that. And so I got a hunter safety when I was like 17-ish. We never could have dogs when we were younger because my dad. And
because of the asthma and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
but I grew up with a Chesapeake Bay Retriever at my grandparents' house. So I always loved that dog. And he always I playing baseball and stuff like that, I would throw the tennis ball for that dog and he would never stop. Like so much so that my grandfather would yell at us because the dog he'd tear up his paws just running up and down the street and that type of stuff. But anyways, so I just got into, self-taught YouTube,
Really?
self-taught, just got into duck hunting and deer hunting. And then a buddy of mine that I grew up with.
At what age did you start?
16, 17, right there.
Okay.
And it was very I would say introductory, right? I would say I towed the hard road, right? There was no hey, what unit is this? Hey, Onyx. Hey, whatever. It was a lot of. I had a friend that duck hunted a lot, that grew up duck hunting, and he helped me, and then I would just get into it, and we did that in California. Deer hunted in California. Not very successful deer hunting by myself. It was actually really interesting running into a marijuana grow.
Oh yeah, that's crazy up there.
So then I really got into it. I would say after a buddy of mine invited me to his dad's place in Western Colorado. The first year I came out, I was like, well, this is really cool, and then every year we made it like a guy's trip to come to Colorado to hunt.
Muleys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hunt mule deer.
I love it.
Yeah, it was fun. And I don't know, there was something that popped in my brain because I was working at that time outside of Los Angeles in a small city that some people know, some people don't. It's really known for Oxnard, so it's strawberries. Mm-hmm. It's Port Hueneme, so you have what is the Air Force Army base, and they have another base there.
Right.
They have the ocean. It's a cool town. Honestly.
It's really cool. I used to ride my Harley up there because I lived in Hermosa Beach for 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole reason I would ride my Harley up there is on a motorcycle. Yeah. When the strawberries are blooming. Yeah. You just smell strawberries for miles, dude. It's it's awesome.
I would say that's one thing that Colorado is lacking. Mm-hmm. Really good strawberries and oranges, or artichokes also. But what I would say is that I was just living there, and Oxnard is a cool city, but it is a rough town, right? You have a lot of migrant workers. You have a lot of just migrant families. But comes along with that is unfortunately younger generations of gang members, right? Kids that maybe don't have a direction, that get involved in gangs and gang violence. Mm-hmm. And it was wild.
So sorry, we're kind of jumping around here a little bit. I took it back to your dad and losing your dad, and I'm sorry you went through all that, man. Yeah. It's so hard, man, but I think I really appreciate what you said about the end of life and crossing that threshold, because I think a lot of people don't realize that, and the quality of life. I think it's important, man. It's a great takeaway, and honestly, I kind of needed to hear that because that's what I'm going through literally right now. It's crazy. But I kind of rewound you from paramedic school. So did you went into paramedic or EMT? Was it EMT or paramedic?
EMT and then paramedic.
Okay.
So the way that that I did it, and I wouldn't suggest it to everybody, but I went to EMT school. My mom had a good friend that owned a private paramedic school, right? and they said, hey, we have a class coming up. You should just join in. And at that point in time, I didn't really have much experience, and I was still really young. I mean, honestly, I was 18 going on 19. No life experience. I mean, life experience, but not to where like now I can look back and go, hey, maybe that was a poor choice. It was the opportunity I was provided. So I went to paramedic school. Had a great time. Loved it. Did an internship outside in Mariposa. So outside of Yosemite.
That doesn't suck.
Yeah, it's interesting actually.
Yeah.
It's a cool like gateway to Yosemite. Interesting, totally different part of California, right? I was having a great time because lived in the Central Valley and doing my internship, and I had buddies that were at Chico, and I had buddies that were down in Santa Barbara. So it was like I would, do my paramedic internship stuff and jam all around the state and have fun. And once I got done with that, I moved back home, and it took me about, I don't know, a few weeks, and I was like, I can't be here. It was just where I was in life, right? I was like, I need to get a job, need to move out. So unfortunately, my driving record at the time was not the greatest. So getting hired on to drive an ambulance wasn't easy. But I ended up being hired down in Los Angeles, doing just transfer stuff, just really basic stuff. And then I think I spent about a year there, and then ended up getting a job in Oxnard doing what they call first in 911. And so you're, go to 911 calls with the fire department. The fire department there was, at the time, was a BLS only fire department, so they only had EMTs. So you're the only paramedics that were on scene. Kind of like Denver, very similar to Denver. I think it's a really good system, as long as everybody works well together. I felt like we worked really well together, and I felt like I was always a team player, right? What's best for the patient is what we should do. But it was it was a great learning, grow up fast, and this is the real world stuff. Most of the guys that I knew, they went away to college or whatever and still living in a bubble, right? And I'm out there dealing with gang members and, dealing with people in the end of life and all that type of stuff. And I was like, wow, you just grow up fast, real fast.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, it does create not a shell, but like you become almost immune to it. Right. Like most people in those types of situations just freak out. And that's fine. That's a normal human being reaction. But when you see it day in and day out, you're just like, oh, I'm here to do a job, and this is my job. Right? And I think that's something that's, I would say, is different about me than some folks, right? I don't feel like my previous career defined me, personally. It was a job,
Yeah, there's some people that really struggle with that, man. And my hat goes off to anybody that's fire, EMS, law enforcement. Like, dude.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot that they deal with that I would say the normal everyday public does not even have a clue. I mean, even in your sleepy little towns, right? The places that you're like, oh, it's a great place to live or whatever. What I would say is that as much as you don't want to know it goes on. And there's a lot of people that deal with unfortunate tragedies and things that, I worked through the quote unquote opiate epidemic, right?
In California, it's so bad. It's still bad there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That was really one of the most interesting things of when I got out here was, so I worked in Oxnard, transferred to Colorado Springs, worked in Colorado Springs for a little bit, and then moved up to Chaffee. And in Chaffee County, at the time when I was there, That was the first place I ever worked where Narcan expired. Like, I'd never worked at a place where Narcan expired.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, it was interesting, right? I don't think that's the case now, unfortunately. I think it has hit.
For the listeners that don't know, if you're overdosing,
Yeah.
like Narcan is what brings you back to life, basically, right?
Yeah, so
In a sense.
it's what's it called? So opiates, they attack the opiate receptor, which then decreases your respiratory rate, and then you essentially go into respiratory failure and cardiac failure. Well, what Narcan does is it goes in there and blocks that receptor. So it says, hey, nope, yeah, get off here, and then it kind of brings you back up. You start breathing again, you wake up. For people that are overdosing, yeah, it's, you learn as a good clinician how to use it appropriately. What I would say is that there are others, and I don't advise anybody to do anything other than just give it to them. Mm-hmm. But you get to the point where you know how to give just enough to get them breathing again, right?
Because there's some hospitalization that's involved. If you've been hit with Narcan, it's like an EpiPen. Like, you're going to the hospital.
Yeah. So there's a lot of studies out there, and it's really interesting because there are times when, like, let's say someone uses heroin, that if you give them Narcan, really at the end of the day, the like actual chances of them going back into what would be called like an overdose state or that type of thing is like none.
Really?
But your problems that you deal with now is that, people are ingesting pills or they're ingesting fentanyl, which is totally a different level than what heroin was at the time. Because that can be, you could go back to like OxyContin and stuff like that with time release pills. You might give them Narcan, but let's say they still have several pills in their stomach that they can time release. So it's
It's so crazy, man. And it blows my mind, and this is my tinfoil hat, but it's like, I know so many people that go into the hospital just for like a normal thing, and next thing you know, they're on Oxy. I'm like, dude, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, that's just I don't know, man. I don't know why it's pushed so prevalently.
There's lots of stories out there and studies and things like that. And, I would agree. I think, my sister is a great example of the opiate epidemic. Had a knee surgery at like 12, 14. And yeah, she's still trying to beat that.
It's so crazy because so many people have had.
Yeah, she's a great person. Is very intelligent.
I've had friends that have had to go to rehab over it because they broke their leg in motocross or whatever, right? And then next thing you know, like, well, I even had a stint with it. It wasn't with, it was with Percocet or one of those sort of pain pills because I injured myself playing high school football.
Yep.
And then I got to the point where I was like, these things are freaking awesome, dude. And I was at home watching like Price is Right or whatever.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I'm taking more than what the recommended dose was.
Yep.
And then I came up with this whole story how I spilled them in the toilet and I didn't feel right about taking them out. And so then they gave me more. It was crazy, right? So like you can go down those rabbit holes real easy.
What was wild at the time that I saw was in the veteran community with the VA was there were only so many VAs around, so they would go to a VA and the VA would give them, let's say, like a 90-day script or like a crazy amount, right?
Right.
And you would go into some people's homes and you would see these bottles of whatever meds, you name it, they were there. But they were like freaking supersize. Like it wasn't like, oh, hey, you get a 10-day, like now
30 days or whatever, right?
And now like ERs have taken this like stance of like, hey, we're only going to give you like a 2-day script. So then you have to go back, get a reevaluation, that type of stuff. So there are.
Well, even I'm on TRT replacement. And like even that is like super regulated, man. Like they won't, because I travel, like so sometimes I need to get my doses before I have to call my doctor. And like, it's crazy because it's considered a narcotic. You know, which I guess is a good thing. I'm not overusing it, but I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there that do.
I've seen them.
You can normally tell.
It's not hard to tell. But I do know a lot of people that actually have done that. And say it changed their life.
It's a game changer, man. Like I had no idea how much that really affected me. I just thought it was just everyday life, and it's wild.
A buddy of mine, he was like, man, I just feel like 100 times better. Just in general.
Cognitively, like everything. Like it's wild, man. I highly recommend it. Like if you're not playing a professional sport, which 99.9% of people are not. I mean, we have a lot of professional athletes and it's crazy. Like some of those guys are, you know, close to my age, and even as a pro athlete and jacked and working out all the time, their levels are super down. They won't let them take it because it's a performance enhancing drug, right? And they call it that for a reason. Like you're gonna feel better. You're gonna be able to do more. You're gonna be able to,
I would. There's things like that I think go along with the same stuff that we have kind of going on in society, right? Is like the studies behind testosterone, right? Like, can we get like this study that's like 100% peer reviewed? This is the deal. Nobody's trying to jack with people, making money. This is, you know, I think it goes along the same lines as some of the psychedelic stuff. I have a friend that was in the Marines. You know, went through all that stuff, was blown up. You know, dude used to have a switch that was like, you know, quick, right? Goes through a couple journeys. He's a totally different person.
Oh, I have so many friends that have gone, you know, whether it was ibogaine or ayahuasca or whatever on these retreats. And it's like, they're some of the most kindest, compassionate human beings now that are really just locked into life. And you know, they were a machine gunner on a Marine, you know, super stallion. And after that joined a 1% outlaw biker gang. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just like so tuned into life now. Because of that. And like, just genuinely like some of my favorite people to be around because they're compassionate, you know, like it's crazy. Didn't Rogan, he was just in the Oval Office with some, I forget the guy's name. See if you can look that up. And Trump just signed an executive order to, for it to be okay for the FDA to use psychedelic drugs, such as ibogaine for treatments for mental health conditions like PTSD in veterans. Boom. There you go.
See, that's awesome.
Shout out to Rogan. Using the power, you know? Like, and I think it was because Rogan hit up Trump. Actually, play this video real quick. We might have to cut it out, but give us some volume.
In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses. It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country.
That's the other thing.
With 1 dose of ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent information. The text message that came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those.
All right, you can shut it off because we're probably going to get dinged. But yeah, it's crazy. That's to bring it back full circle. It's helping opiate addictions, you know, basically snap out of it. And like, I'll be blatantly honest, man. Like, microdosing mushrooms has made my life so much better. I haven't been on a journey, like a trip, like in a very long time. Like, I took I went to Rome in October, and I took a little too much before we went into the Vatican, but that enhanced the experience. But I wasn't like out of my mind, hiding in the bathroom at the Vatican or something or anything like that. I was just noticing things a lot more that I never would have noticed. Like the tour guide was ready to fucking kill me, dude. Like she was like, "Why do you keep getting lost?" And I was like, "Just leave me alone. I'm busy." Yeah, like
Johnny on the
awesome.
spot with the questions.
But man, it's just that little bit, and knowing it's kept me from drinking in situations where I would have drank. It's, being in some serious social environments where I want to like party, like just a little microdose and some soda water, dude. And I'm like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's like, it's really made me just kind of come down from that buzz and that stress of life to be able to truly connect with my kids and truly be engaged with people and truly just be on a personal level, man, and like notice things a little bit more. Like, and sometimes I forgot that I've even microdosed or whatever, and I don't do it all the time, but man, it has been a game changer for me in mood and just everything, man. Like,
nice.
Yeah, my favorite time to do it is before a workout, honestly.
Nice.
And I have like the best workouts, because you're more in tune with your body. You're more locked in. Like you can feel if your body's like in a bad position, which leads to injuries and all that sort of stuff. But
I've read a lot of like extreme sports people.
Yeah.
That like microdose before whatever, dirt biking or whatever. And it was very interesting to listen to them when they say this very similar stuff.
Well, it slows everything down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's weird. It slows real time down a little bit. I take it when I'm hunting.
Really?
Every day.
Really?
Every day for the last like 4 years.
Wow.
And I am so much more locked into like just the universe, sounds.
Takes me like
dude, my brain doesn't wander to like, shit, did I pay the mortgage? I hope that, like those everyday problems that will naturally pop up, like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this.
I call that like the 72 hour in the woods lock in.
Yeah,
because honestly, for me, it takes 2 to 3 days of being in the woods to actually focus. Mm-hmm. Whether you're sitting up there and you're like, wait, did I take care of that for somebody, or did I do this, or
right?
But then 72 hours, it's like, oh,
well, you get more aware to the beauty of it, what's happening around you.
Yes,
you become more of a hunter.
Yes,
like you're truly locked in. Like I don't think I've ever taken an animal within the first 3 days of hunting, and it's honestly because I literally have to like talk myself off the ledge a little bit. Like I start losing my mind up there a little bit. I'm like, why the fuck did I do this? Like, why am I here? It's freaking raining or whatever, right? Like I start down that the pillow isn't soft type thing, and I think about quitting.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I've hiked 7 miles to where I want to be, or whatever, or there's no animals or whatever. But after that 3-day mark hits, man, it's like I am in so much more tune with nature and just what's going around me, and more appreciative of the people I love too, because I think about them a lot too. It's not like I'm just up there, just one focused mind,
right?
And getting animals, dude. Like
there's more to it, right?
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more to it. Yeah. I
would not recommend taking mushrooms for your first time when you're in the backcountry because I'm sure it affects everybody differently.
Right.
And I am very, very careful not to take too much.
Yeah.
When I'm up there, just try to be real regimented with it. But it does help me. So I would suggest if you're going to try it, try this at home or in a safe place.
Safe place.
Not the middle of the wilderness, right?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. I think about it when I'm out there. To me, one of the major things that goes through my mind is, and I know a lot of people probably think the same stuff, is who's been here before, right? Who's traveled this area? The other part is when you're out there, I feel like it connects to some like, I don't know, like kind of just raw feeling of like, this is how it was supposed to be. Like you're just connected to everything, you know?
It puts you in your place too.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how much money you have,
No.
what kind of truck you drove there, how good your bow is,
Yeah.
what shoes you have on, or if you're wearing Sitka camp. None of that shit matters at all. And the mountain does not care.
Yeah.
It'll kill you just as fast as it'll kill anybody. And
I have a great story
it's
about
the
that.
great equalizer, man. Like, because I've hunted with some friends that have some wealth and they have all the badass shit and everything, and they'll end up quitting before I do, maybe, to go, or don't want to go to some spot that I might want to go to,
Right.
or whatever. And not that I haven't done it on the other end too. I mean, I think that's a good thing, is knowing your limits a little bit.
Yeah,
and
for
if
sure.
you're not 100% confident, like don't try something.
For sure.
Don't get too Western out there, because
It'll eat you up.
it will. It'll kill you. And like, look at what happened to those 2 kids, you know?
Yeah. Lightning.
Those are some of the scariest moments I've had above tree line, is microburst, like lightning type events.
I think when you are in tune and you see those clouds start moving, you know, and then maybe it's an experience thing, but you take a look at that and you're like, get down now. Like I know for me, like when I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, let's go. Under tree line and down.
When your hair starts standing up on your arms,
or
the back of your neck, or wherever it's at. Those 6 senses are real too. I think, you know, anytime that I've had any predator interaction, there's kind of that, like, something's not right, and then all of a sudden something isn't right.
I find that weird. Like, I've never seen a mountain lion in the woods. Seen him in town. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen a bear, except for like a couple times, just like glassing or whatever, but never like a close encounter with a bear or anything like that. Ran into a lot of meth heads, and hikers, but never like predator, like how like a lot of people look at the woods. I feel like I've never like had that experience.
They don't want anything to do with you, man. And if they do, it's more of like a curiosity thing.
Right.
I've only seen probably 3 lions. Like, I grew up here. Like, started bow hunting when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Was the first time I was going. I wasn't physically hunting. Yeah. But I was going out with my uncles who were bow hunters and like calling elk and like, dude, I don't realize how good I've had it, you know? And then up until now, and I mean, I took some breaks in there where I was on music tours or whatever, but all that time in the woods. And then, dude, I grew up with no money. There was nothing on the TV after school was out except for Days of Our Lives. And I couldn't stand that show, but my mom loved it. So where was I going? I was going out here to go chase animals around or build a fort or like whatever. And I've seen a lot of tracks. I've seen... you know, I know that they're around. You know that they're around, but I've physically seen them with my own eyes. I remember the first mountain lion I ever saw was on, I was on a school bus, and it was a snowy day, and it was putting the stock on this horse. But it was like way the fuck out, like in this field. And I was like, holy crap, that's a mountain lion. But then the only other times I've seen him is on heavily dense, like elk game trails, and where I'm calf calling. Really? And you can call it. I guarantee you, like, they're coming in to check it out. So I think that betters your chances. But when I've seen them, it's never been like, oh, there's a mountain lion. Like, I'm looking at Tyler and I actually get to see it, dude. It's like in your peripheral vision from behind you. And I have to process, like, it happens so fast that I don't realize what it was. And the scary part about that is that thing was fucking stalking me probably. And once it found out I was a human that was 6'3", it probably was like, see ya. And it just bolted. And the only thing, it may not have been a mountain lion, dude. Right. But when you see that 6-foot tail or a really long tail, I guarantee it's a mountain lion. I've only had that experience, but I've had friends tell me where they've like turned around and there's a pumpkin sticking out of, pumpkin head sticking out of like shrub oak. Oh, dang. Or something. Dang. And then, Dude, we had this dude, Tyler. Go to the mountainside. Tyler, I want to say Tyler Sheridan, but I'm getting it mixed up with, it's way down like in the 50s. We did a virtual podcast with him, and we got to look up his books too. Tyler Gray. Why can't I remember his name? I'm a huge fan of this guy too. Tyler Sharp. Open that up real quick and see. Oh, awesome. Just look up Tyler Sharp on Instagram. Actually, let's pull up his Instagram page. It's The Modern Huntsman, I think, is his books.
Okay.
And he's like the Donnie Vincent of still photography and National Geographic.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's all based around like hunting. Dude, this guy is a master writer.
Whoa.
But he was in Africa, and in that podcast, he told a story. He was in his tent. It was like a wall tent, you know, like the ones that they have on the safari.
Yeah.
And he was a photographer for some big hunts.
Oh, wow. He does photos for Beretta Galleria.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's amazing, man. This dude, Modern Huntsman. These journals are like, it's like picking up a Donnie Vincent film.
This is the dude that got burned.
That's a chef,
Oh.
I think. That's not Tyler.
Okay.
But that, yes. He's like an outdoor chef, right?
Yes.
What's that guy's name? Flip Flop? Is it the Flip Flop guy? No.
Eduardo.
Yeah.
Dude,
Crazy.
that guy's story is outrageous.
Yeah, let's go back to that. So go back to Tyler's real quick. I need to circle back with Eduardo because we were talking about having him on the podcast, but he's probably too big time now. But Tyler told the story. So he's in a wall tent, and he said it was fucking super hot.
Yeah.
So he just had the screen to keep bugs from coming in.
Yeah.
And he woke up in the middle of the night because he just like woke up like something was off, like in a cold sweat.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sorry, Tyler, if I'm getting this wrong. But he said that he looked out of his tent, and from like 15 feet away, there was a male lion in their camp. And he said he saw him crouch down and start digging his paws in to get traction, like ready to pounce.
No.
And I can't remember the rest of the story, but I'll never forget that. So it's just the next level. But these lions are insane.
So we lived in town. When we first moved to Chaffee, we lived in BB, next to my aunt and uncle's place. Very fortunate because the people let us stay there for essentially free.
BV being Buena Vista?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I like that. I've never heard anyone. That must be a locals thing out there, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm not going to hate on you. And I had the dogs in kennels in the backyard, and it was night, and they were barking. They don't really bark. They're not big barkers for nothing, right? You know, if deer got close, they would bark, raccoons or something like that. Well, they were going, there's a different bark that they would have if it was something like, get away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, these dogs got to be quiet. What is out here? Flash the flashlight, and I'm like looking around, and all of a sudden I see something just go and jump off into the shadows. And I was like, did I just see a mountain lion? Like a tail? And I was like, no way. Like, I was like, nah. Mind you, 2 years later, same spot, somebody grabbed a video of a mountain lion grabbing a deer and pulling it into the drainage ditch right next to the house.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I guess maybe it was a mountain lion.
It's crazy, man. Like some of the game cam footage, have you seen that? Of them like coming out of trees and shit? That's the other thing too, is I'm not always looking up when I'm like elk or deer hunting.
No.
Like
No.
a lot of times.
Yeah. You're like looking
It's
down.
crazy.
or
One of my
around.
favorite mounts is it's at the Cabela. I think it's Cabela's that's out there in Parker. We're on your way to Parker. It's not actually in Parker, but anyways, they have a mount in the ammo section, and it's a pine tree.
Yeah.
And there's a lion coming out of it, like claws out. Like this is how it'd be, and it's like 12 feet in the air or whatever, dude. Like
You
pretty
know
gnarly.
who does, I think, some of the best representations of mountain lion, and in my opinion, I guess you could say, is Doug Barnes, out of like Canyon City. he does mountain lion stuff that like puts them in there. I feel like it's like more natural, right? So like it's like them like on a rock.
Oh, is he like a photographer?
Oh, he's a taxidermist.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
He's oh gosh, what's his?
Look up taxidermy maybe. Is he the guy that did Adam Greentree's lion that he gave to
believe so.
Rogan and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like
Yeah.
it's
Ovis
more
Wildlife. Yep, that's him. Him and his wife do taxidermy, and it is
yeah, they're amazing. I know who this is.
pretty epic.
That's
stuff.
so cool. Like the deer mount there
Yep.
with that is epic.
Like, look at that goat, dude, on the
That's
rocks.
so rad with the ice dripping off of it.
He's
Oh, he's been on Dan's. He's been on Through the Gates. That's
yep.
awesome.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go and listen to that. Wow. That
Just-
is so cool.
Just cool, lifelike stuff. He's well accomplished in the taxidermy world.
That post is awesome. Go back to the one with with Bolus. Oh, you got to save that, dude. You got to save that. I'm going to reshare that later. That is awesome. If you're just listening to the podcast, you might want to go and watch the YouTube version. There's some good comedy on that. Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, he does a lot of the sheep. They're really well known for the sheep stuff.
Look at that. That's cool. Another bear skull in there.
Mm-hmm.
God.
But he's had that one right there on the tree. That's been at Dan's outdoorsman days on the stage.
No way.
Yeah, and that thing is just, I mean, it looks so natural. I don't know. To me,
That's amazing, man. That's a true art form in itself, man. Is the whole taxidermy thing is wild. It's crazy.
And
what a cool logo he's got for the business too, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's epic.
He a lot of people look at it as like it's
what's his name again?
Doug Barnes.
Doug Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Doug, if you're listening to this, shout out. We want to have you on the mountainside. Give him a follow for sure, Tyler. Yeah. Can't believe we don't follow him already. Yeah, he did a lot during, the 127 thing. He's still doing a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
sponsoring and helping out.
There's so many people out there that have done a lot and have done what they can do.
Yeah.
Right? And that's all. Everybody has different levels to what they can do, but I think that's what makes this community amazing, right? Is I feel like it's filled with not only people who are like art form, like Buddy Eldon from Iron Man Hitch. He makes these fireballs and stuff, and he donates those, and that's what he can do. And then you got Doug that does his stuff, and then you got other guys that are outfitters that are like, hey, we'll donate this hunt, other people donating time. And then you have people that are like, well, I got a checkbook, I can write a check.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what changes us back to getting
It's a true community that cares about the greater good of animals, actually, I think.
100%.
And it's not about like just hunting.
No.
It's about, if you talk to any one of those people, it's what's best for the animals. And these are people that their livelihood is made on raising animals or harvesting animals or something around that. And that's like, I guess what I haven't understood is like some of these other like gun shops and huge brands that are making millions of dollars in the hunting industry that did not step up to the plate or show any sort of love or not even a donation or an endorsement because they were too scared of the repercussions.
Yeah.
But then you have the people that are small business sticking their necks out there like yourself, man, that really made the difference.
We got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, yes, we do have stuff to lose, but like I said, we're not worried about the margin stuff.
Yeah,
It's not that I don't need money to live and things like that, and we got employees and friends that need us to have a business open, but if we're not going to stand up for this, what's
are the point?
Yeah, what are we standing for?
Yeah, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot.
You know?
Yeah.
I look at it, I don't know.
How did you get into the gun side of stuff? Like you left,
So
you
I-
had your run in paramedics.
Yeah. So got to Colorado and just like
It's like the worst state to start a gun shop in, too.
so I got to Colorado and met some like-minded people and was like, wait, what? You can do cash and carry and like, you know, trade guns. Here's cash, you know, buy guns from people, you know, all legal at the time. And I literally looked at it and go, this is freedom. This is real. Because I grew up in an area where there was 2 gun shops for millions of people. And I might be wrong. I only knew of 2 gun shops that were around. But it was like one of those things that I just like clinged on to because it was like, I enjoy this. This is fun. I you know, I love hunting, so I really got into that rifle side. But then, like, you know, started buying handguns and all that different type of stuff. Moved to Chaffee, and I started, you know, was a customer at the Salida Gun Shop, and just was way into it. You know, my big thing is just like, guns are for everybody. You know, I don't think it's one way or the other. I don't think it should be a political thing like it is, but it is. And you can think about it however you want. But honestly, I think it's an American thing, you know. I think it is kind of a
It's the Second Amendment in our
of freedom,
Constitution, yeah.
right? And I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I want to get into this. And so the gun shop was kind of growing, and I had frequented there, and my business partner, Josiah, I told him one time, I said, man, if there's ever an opportunity where, like, you know, I could be here or help you guys out, or if there's an ownership opportunity, I would love to do this. I was just into it, all in. And in I think it was like 2018, I started part-time working there, but that essentially was I was working a 48 on the ambulance. I'd get off, and all 4 days I would be at the gun shop.
Nice.
My wife now was like, man, that was crazy time. Yeah, it still is crazy time. You know, it's still so crazy because it's busy. But the older owner was looking at like selling. Got into 2020 and COVID happened, and you know, all that stuff, and I think he was ready to just kind of be done. And great guy, crazy experiences, right? He'd been in the industry for many years, you know, NRA, guiding, hunting, doing Alaska things, all that type of stuff. Anyways, he was done, just, you know, grandkids and stuff like that, and had the opportunity to buy in and did it, and I'm all in. You know, I was done with, I didn't realize it until, you know, probably a year or 2 later, like how done I was with the paramedic stuff.
How long were you on an ambulance?
About 17, 18 years.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's a long time, dude.
Yeah. It was a good ride. I truly believe at the end of the day that, that job or, that lifestyle should come with some limits, maybe some guardrails,
Like terms of service? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you know, I am the wrong person to talk to if you're thinking about getting into it, because I will say go to college and go do something else, or you know,
Yeah.
You know, I would say just, you know, pick another line of work. Or at least don't stay in it for a long time is where I would say. But anyways, I, you know, started doing the gun shop thing, and the crazy thing is like for the first year, 2 years, and I think I still deal with it now, but like crazy insomnia.
Really?
Yeah, like just weird. Like I'd wake up at 2:00 in the morning and be like, oh, I'm up, and that was just my life for so many years. And then finally, eventually it was like, man, I was like sleeping in my own bed every night and like just.
You think that was because you were on the ambulance?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Because you would wake up thinking about something or dreaming about something?
Just like I would wake up.
Really?
My brain would be on and I just wake up. And I still have it now where it's like, you start to get a little bit stressed or whatever. And you just like, you wake up and you're like, oh, I got to take care of something or whatever. Mm-hmm. But what
time is that normally at?
Like early in the morning.
Like 3 a.m?
Yeah.
That's crazy. It happens to a lot of people, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about it here on the podcast.
Really?
And I don't know what your faith background is or what you believe, and not to push any of this on you, but a lot of it revolves around faith.
Really?
And it's kind of, a lot of people think it's God calling you.
Really?
To pay attention to him, because that's when it's the quietest time, and it's when you need to like kind of figure out some stuff.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So one of my buddies, shout out to Coach Mark Montoya at Factory X. He's one of the most prominent coaches in all of combat sports and the UFC specifically. Like, dude is a stud. And it's like, anytime he's in here, I'm ready to run through the wall like the Kool-Aid man. Like, I'm just jacked up on life when any experience I have with him. He's just one of those people, like his attitude, his demeanor, who he is infectious, man.
Really?
And it makes you want to be a better person.
I love people like that.
And he's honestly what has led me. He's a big piece of the puzzle. What has led me back into faith and Christianity and all of that. But anyways, he said that he continuously did that, and at some point something fell into his lap, a book that he was reading or something like that kind of put this correlation together. And he just has a different practice now. When he still wakes up at 3:30 in the morning a lot of nights.
Yeah.
But he goes into a prayer and like praying for others, and he said he falls back asleep like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's wild. Anyways.
Okay.
It's wild. And he's not the only. I've had multiple people tell me this.
Really?
Yeah.
It's actually really interesting about that stuff. That stuff, religion. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I don't hate on anybody for anything that they believe in ever. My mom always lived as the world is my church. And when I go to like her happy place was Hawaii, that was her place because she grew up in the Catholic Church. So she had that hard, right? Like
those hard lines are hard to follow as a young person.
Yeah, and I always felt like for me, hunting was my church. Personally, just the woods, just being out there in nature. And I don't, like I said, I don't hate on anybody that does organize, goes to church or whatever. I've had my bouts with it, but I hope there's somebody higher power. Honestly.
There is, man. I truly believe that. I think for me, like for a lot of years, like 45 years.
Yeah.
I've always been a Christian.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've always believed in that higher power.
Right.
But I'm not religious. And I still feel that way today. Like I don't need a church.
Right.
To be able to read the Bible. You don't need that to read the Bible or believe what you believe in. To each his own. I would truly believe that.
Yeah.
But man, you want to talk about some of the heaviest hitting, just wildest stories. Like you think you've heard wild stories on a podcast or something, man. Like whether you're religious or not, like those stories that are in the Bible are mind blowing, dude. Like, and for me, nature is a part of that, man. It's a huge part of it. And I think that's why we feel so connected. Like, God created man in the wilderness, not in the garden.
No.
Right? Then he put him in the garden, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's
what the weird thing is I would say that's what my name, why I'm like I was named Adam was from the Bible. Like my parents, that's what they, and it was like, okay, interesting. Like everything growing up was morally religious based, I would say.
Right. If you take people out of the equation,
Yep.
I think it's a lot easier to digest and find it yourself.
Yeah.
Like what's led me to it, honestly, is listening to other people's stories sitting at this very table. And it's blown my mind. And the times where I needed it the most or did pray, I got help.
Really?
So it's real recent, man. Like real recent.
Yeah.
It's been like a culmination leading up to it. And I just say, like, don't, for anybody that's listening to this, and this isn't me preaching to you or anybody else, man. Like I'm still trying to figure it out myself, but don't close those doors, man. Because I think for 45 years, I closed those doors.
Uh-huh.
And if I didn't have it right now, I don't know where I'd be at. Like I think I would be in a lot worse position mentally, physically, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. Like I've went through a whole lot in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
And that cornerstone has really helped me through it, and other people. And it's been divine.
Yeah. I've seen that a lot.
And I don't know exactly what it is, but if you really start looking into like what's possible, that's the only answer I have.
Yeah.
Like, and I've really thought it out, man. Like I've tried to fight against it for 45 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And now I'm just kind of like open to it.
Yeah.
It's just different, man. I would just say don't close those doors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nonetheless, you're gonna get some incredible stories and a great message, and it's great guidelines to live your life by and treat people by.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody loses
by
understanding more knowledge, right?
Right.
I think people just get scared of it, and I think it's other people that have tainted what it is, like these huge church organizations like the Catholic Church.
Right.
Like, dude, I was just at the Vatican in October.
How was that?
I had the best time, dude.
Really?
It was better. It was incredible. I went with some incredible people, first off, but I really went into it on the art standpoint. Like, I wanted to know about Michelangelo. He was my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Heck yeah.
And I just wanted to experience that, and in my own way. Like I wasn't going in there because I was Catholic or anything like that, right? But it was mind-blowing, dude. Like just the amount of art that's in there. It's almost disgusting. You know what I mean? Because this organization just somehow acquired
all of this.
Everything from the Roman Empire, everything from I mean, they have everything, including all of Michelangelo's work, right? And then they basically brought him in once they saw his talent and were like, you're going to live here and create art like under our rule, right? Which is wild, but just it's pretty disgusting what they have there. I mean, they have a country within a country, man. Like who else has that, right? Like and this is nothing against anybody that's Catholic either, man. But I'm just saying as an organization, but to have that all, it's impressive to have it all in one place too, where you can actually like see it.
Yeah.
You can't touch a lot of it, but like to see it up close and personal, like go to Michelangelo's Jesus and Mary sculpture. It's in the Basilica. Dude, to see this in person, and it's the only piece of art that Michelangelo ever signed, and just seeing the history in him, dude, he carved that thing when he was like 21 years old, and it is flawless. I think that's a replica of it, Tyler. I think the one on the left in Wikipedia, the one on the far left. This one? Yep. Click on that one. See if you can go full screen with it. Like to try to get some detail. There we go. See if it'll blow it up full. Look at that, dude. Like the detail that is in that.
I mean,
and the meaning behind it.
In the foot.
It's insane.
Holy cow.
it's mind blowing, man. Like,
That's unreal.
yeah, I had some spiritual moments in there too, but I might have taken too many psychedelics. But yeah, it's crazy. Like to have all that art in there, and this is just one piece.
What drove you to go there?
I went to Rome for bare knuckle boxing. Chris Camozzi, Colorado legend.
Was that the recent podcast you did?
Yeah, we did one with him like 2 or 3 episodes ago or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Chris is a stud, man. Like he's one of my favorite people in life, dude. Like,
Bare knuckle boxing?
so he had a title fight over there. And with my new business, I do live production stuff.
Okay.
So I was going over to like get some business too. So it's kind of like a dual purpose, you know. And Chris has been an awesome friend. And so, yeah, he was in Rome. And then I had some friends that were going over. But I was mainly going to meet with some people over there to get some of the lighting and video contracts or the potential to get them, which was awesome. But they happened to be there, and Chris was helping me make some of those introductions, which was awesome. He's a really good friend of mine. And then, you know, in the downtime, we chose to all just go on a tour together, and it was awesome, man. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was really cool. And I probably wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for them. Like, I was just along for the ride. I was doing what they were doing, you know, like type of thing.
Really?
Yeah. And, or I probably wouldn't have gone. I'd been once before, but I was a lot younger, and I was very anti-religion.
Yeah.
100% anti-religion when I went the first time. And I got super frustrated. We had a really cool, intimate tour. Like, one of my friends set up a special tour, so we got to do some stuff that like the general public is not allowed to, and stuff. So, which was super connect in there, right? When I went in as just a normal tourist the first time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like killing time where like there's a lady, whoever your tour guide is, because I think you have to have a tour guide to enter the place, which is crazy. And they just try to like kind of shuffle you along. And even this tour guide, even though we had this intimate one, she kept getting mad at me because she's like, we got to go to the next thing. I was like, I'm not leaving. They have a whole room that's just hunting sculptures.
What?
And it's of guys like club. They have a dead lion in one hand and a club in the other hand. You know what I mean? Like, it's so cool. Like, I called it like the trophy room or whatever. And I spent like 45 minutes in there, and they were like, we got to go to the next thing. I was like, no, I want to see this. Like, I'm not leaving. So I would just purposely kind of get lost. Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to, but the first time I quit, we made it to the Sistine Chapel is what I really wanted to see, because that's like the big thing. And that was cool. But by the time I had gotten there, I was so beat up because they would show you on a picture of what you were going to go look at and explain it all to you, because they can't explain it when they're in the Sistine Chapel. But I was just like, can we just go see the thing? I don't need to know every little like detail about it. Like, so I got super frustrated. And I just left like partway through the tour. Like, I was just like, I'm out. But this is the first time I did the full tour, like through it. Yeah, look at some of this stuff. Like, this is in the hunting room. Go to that photo right there that your cursor's over. This one? Tyler. Nope. Go down. Yeah. I have an awesome video of this. So this dude is stabbing this bull like in the neck. There's a dog involved. And then there's also this serpent that's coming up out of the ground.
Holy cow.
And like licking the blood. And then there's a scorpion like biting the bull's balls. Like, there's elk in there, or stags. There's pheasants. There's ducks. There's, this whole room is just full of people killing animals, basically, and or harvesting animals. There's a lot of sheep in there. Yeah, it's impressive, man.
You know, along those lines of, you know, when you first went there, you had these experiences. More recently, I've been like, we had the opportunity to visit like Deadwood and Tombstone and stuff like that.
Super cool.
Very cool. But it's like, why does it have to be like a gambling town or, and I get it. They have to make money and tourism and stuff, but it's like the history behind that stuff. You're just like, whoa, like very much like that stuff. Like
Yeah.
how I mean, I don't claim to be an intelligent man, so what like
Me
those
neither.
sculptures are from how long ago?
Oh, they're 8 times as old as our country or more, right?
Yeah.
Like, some of them maybe 100 times. Like a lot of them are from the Roman Empire, and like,
Which is wild.
and they're carved from what I was trying to wrap my head around. Like Michelangelo, that one that is it the Pica? I'm totally just butchered that. The one that we were looking up with Michelangelo of Mary holding Jesus after the crucifixion.
Pieta?
That was carved. This was his make or break moment. So he was just like a street artist, and somebody believed in him enough, another human being, that they bought him a solid chunk of marble. Like, luckily, one of my friends is like, I would call him on the spectrum, but he's not. He's a creative. He's an artist himself, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, how would somebody get a piece of marble that big, like back then? Like,
Right.
FedEx just doesn't drop that off now. Like, to get a piece of marble that size, these are Jesus is life size in this sculpture. So think about the piece of stone you had to start with, right? And then you have to have this in your imagination. And then you're literally doing it with a hammer and chisels, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe some wet sandpaper in there of
Right.
some sort, but like, bro, you're not just gonna, there's no Dremel tools.
No.
There's none of that stuff. To me, this work of art is more impressive than like the pyramids are, it's an unanswered, like,
Yeah.
human structure that was built that's amazing, right?
But how did they get
But
it
I
there?
think this is just as amazing. Like, how I cannot wrap my head around that. So anyways, somebody believed in Michelangelo enough to buy him this piece of stone, which was stupid expensive, right?
Yeah.
Back then. He didn't have the money for it. He was like a street artist. And then basically gift it to him. And this is what he created. It's the only piece of art he ever signed. It was 1637, dude. Almost 1,000 years. Oh, no.
1498.
Bro, come on, man.
Holy cow.
Another fascinating thing is if you read the book Latitude, it's awesome, man. It's all about like how they first started traveling the oceans
Yeah.
and
have
how
this-
the watch was invented and like the compass and like it's
Latitude.
fascinating.
Really?
Yeah.
So I got a stack of books that I've been like trying to read. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like, if it doesn't, it just kind of gets put. I mean, there's books that I'll read, I don't know, 100, 150 pages, and you just like put down. Mm-hmm. And then I'll get back to it. A year, 2 years later, I'll end up reading it.
Audiobooks is how I do it. I ain't reading shit.
I need to do that,
Yeah.
honestly. Dan told me about a book that, because I would be honest with you, I'm really into like Western civilization, Western culture, and the settling of the West. And Dan told me about a book called Bayou Soldado,
Okay.
and it's about South Park, right? And how it was settled, and how it was hunted, and the Indians and the Spanish and all that type of stuff. It's really interesting because you can visually,
Yeah.
like, it talks about the mosquitoes, it talks about, Antero, it talks about the buffalo herds and all that type of stuff. And it's really, it's one of those books that like gripped me. So
That's fascinating, man.
Latitude is the one that you were talking about, though.
It's pretty fascinating, man. Like what true north is and like all that sort of stuff. It's wild.
Those that type of art, and I would say those types of people that are able to look at something and create something, I envy.
Yeah,
Because I have
man.
zero of that.
Yeah, that's why that statue is so impressive to me. Like, out of all the things that he could have carved of badass men or something, like
Right.
he picked the hardest moment in all of Christianity
Yeah.
to carve and put his name on, and like, look where it's at now, like it's in the Basilica. Hey, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Cool.
And then we'll dive back to it. If you're not checking out the Mountainside Podcast on YouTube, you absolutely should be. If you like the content that we create here and you want to help support the podcast, please take a moment, subscribe to us on YouTube, and hit that notification bell. Now we're actually back. So my background is rock and roll touring.
What?
So, yeah, I grew up here in Evergreen.
Okay.
At 18, this was the worst place in the world, dude.
Yeah,
like
yeah, for
living
sure.
here, it was
sure.
miserable, right?
Yeah.
And so I was working for some bands locally. Had a friend that was in a band, and some things kind of fell apart with them. And I had an opportunity and a job offer in Hermosa Beach, or a company that was in Torrance that was like, hey, we'll keep you busy. But I was also touring at the time.
Yeah.
And so I started touring with bands, and I actually kind of started in freestyle motocross and the skate industry
No
and stuff,
way.
like doing production work for
Really?
them. So like lighting, video walls,
Yeah.
the actual ramps we would build, like more of the structural stuff was kind of like what I wanted to be in.
Really?
Into, yeah. So that was rad. And that led to me going all over the world with some really big name like divas and artists and stuff like that. And then I was never going to get married, never going to have kids. And lo and behold, I got 3 kids and an awesome wife. And
Nice.
anyways, 15 years ago, my daughter was born, and that's when I quit the touring side of stuff, but was still heavily involved with like major sporting events and stuff like that.
Doing like video and lighting and that type of stuff?
Yeah, stages, video, lighting, like the actual construction of it all and like the timeline. So I did
cow.
a number of the Super Bowl halftimes
Really?
and worked for a bunch of companies, and now
Yeah.
doing lighting and stuff for some huge corporations, like
Right.
the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
And I just decided a few years ago, and honestly, some of this, to take it back to the faith journey, was like I never felt morally right about helping
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So I'm going back after industries that I want to be in. So it's
Right.
everything I've been doing the last year has been
Getting back.
involved with combat sports. So like the UFC,
Yeah.
bare knuckle boxing, bare knuckle MMA now is
They're
why I'm
starting
going
to
to
grow,
Miami.
right?
Oh yeah, it's huge. There's so much. Getting back into the surf and skate and moto and working with some bands that
I grew up in like, that's interesting because like, I feel like I grew up in that. We grew up in the same era, right?
Yeah.
But like,
how old are you?
For 41.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
46. So
So right
yeah,
there,
right then.
right? And it was really interesting, like I don't know, snowboarding, that type of stuff. That was all new,
Especially where you
newer.
live or grew up right
Yeah.
there in NorCal,
Yeah.
like
We would go to Tahoe a lot.
like all that.
Lot.
That's the Mecca.
We grew up skateboarding and doing that stuff. I was never really good at it. I just, I did it, riding BMX bikes and that type of stuff. Never could get a dirt bike.
Yeah.
I ended up getting a dirt bike, but anyways, long story short is that it was really interesting to see all the people that like, dude, were majorly successful
Yeah.
doing that stuff. Videography. Like, dudes running around with freaking, handy cams,
Yeah. That's a whole art form in itself. Like that whole, I call it the videotape era, is what really like escalated into, that's what built freestyle motocross, was Crusty Demons of Dirt, dude.
Yes.
Like I remember watching 1 through 10, and I would wear out the VHSs because it was just, the music was awesome. It was in the background. It was like everything that I was about. And then you had all the snowboard videos and skate videos. And it was just like, it was kind of like that. I would imagine that's what the punk rock era was like
Yes.
in the 70s and 80s,
Right.
which I kind of missed the bus on that because I love that. But like it was kind of that punk rock movement where you had to have a friend
yes.
that knew about it or where to get the tape, and he would get it from his buddy. It was like this whole like underground scene. And honestly, what led me to it was we had in the 90s, there were so many people fleeing LA from the riots, and a lot of them moved to Evergreen, Colorado right here, which is crazy. So like 90% of this town grew like doubled in population within like a year or something. And
no way.
Like 60% of them were from SoCal.
No way.
And they were all into skateboarding and punk rock. And so they introduced me to this whole new culture and everything when I was in elementary school, you know? And it was just like,
that was actually,
I was listening to like Skid Row, and they were like, you want something that will really blow your mind? Like, check out the Dead Kennedys or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, and it wasn't mainstream, you know, it was all kind of.
That's funny you say that, because like I remember this is something I always talk about when I came out here when I was younger. I was like, oh, you guys are still wearing like corduroy pants? Like, you know, like it was like, I don't know, California was very...
they're still setting the trends on like the surf and skate industry, like fashion. There's a whole trade show now that's
really
just based around like surf and skate, and it's like Quicksilver is showing their new line of board shorts or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
That was like always an interesting thing as like O'Neill's surf shop and like they're like going down there, and like now where it was. Into like now, how it's like,
well,
trendy.
Nike bottom, right?
Trendy,
yeah.
You know, it's interesting to see that like, I mean, I wear Nike shoes now, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I always wear skate shoes or whatever, but it was just like, now Nikes are cool. What?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I've been wearing Vans since like I bought my first pair. There was actually a place here called BC Surf and Skate, and it was like a caveman was like the logo.
Yeah.
And it was the only place where you could get like skater stuff. You know? Like it was the only skate shop. And sadly, they just closed last year.
Oh, no.
Yeah, after being open for like 35 years in business or something like that, or however long it was. But I'll never forget, my grandmother took me there. It was the first pair of shoes that I really, really, really wanted, but we could never afford. And she bought me a pair of Vans, and they were purple suede and black. And I was like, I wore those things until you couldn't wear them anymore. Like they completely fell apart, dude. I must have wore those things for like 5 years. I think they were too small, and I was still wearing them. But that's what I wanted, man. And then ever since then, I just wear Vans all the time. I actually hunt in Vans. They're like my stocking shoe now.
I just saw they have a boot.
Yeah, they have. The MTE line is freaking amazing.
Really?
That's honestly what I've been hunting in a lot. If I'm just going out like locally, archery wise, if I'm going backcountry, I'll throw on like my Crispies or a good boot, you know, because you kind of need it. But honestly, the Vans are always kind of my backup there. You can buy them in Gore-Tex now. They have a little bit of insulation. They have like some traction on them. And it's crazy what who kind of introduced me to it, and I think who developed it was the special operations community. Like a lot of those guys operate in them because they're quiet and in an urban environment, they're super quiet. Like,
I always thought that was interesting. Like they have these like crazy companies that are trying to design boots to get them into that world. Yeah. And then they're like, nah, we'll just wear the Vans.
Yeah.
And we're good. Or the Converse or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, that's awesome, man. Like those are my favorite mule deer shoes are my Vans MTEs, you know, because once you break them in, it's almost like wearing a pair of moccasins or something, you know, like it's kind of got that feel like, you can feel what's underneath you a little bit, but they're still can be pretty stealth in them.
Cause you're big into the archery stuff, right?
That's pretty much all I do, man. Yeah. Like, and it's funny cause I'm more proficient with my bow than I would be with my handgun. Yeah. Like if I had to match up yardage for yardage, bullets for arrows, I guarantee you,
your arrows.
But I put my time behind the riser and have had some amazing coaching in that space, like world renowned coaching.
You know, it's funny you say that. That's actually like, I don't want to call it a mission, but I do want to call it some sort of like challenge for like people behind a rifle. How many arrows do you think you put downrange before a hunting season?
Oh my God. Before a hunting season? Yeah. Like throughout the year?
Throughout the year.
So let's see here. I try to do not many people know this, but there's an archery target right in here. So even if it's just reps,
Yeah.
like not necessarily downrange, but just working on my shot sequence, because I'm shooting on back tension, so it's almost like a trigger break, right?
Yep.
Like it's a surprise shot or
Yep.
a surprise release, and that makes your accuracy, like, it's made me more accurate to the point where
I am the world's worst bow hunter.
okay,
And my brother is a big bow hunter.
Okay.
So I own a bow and have shot a lot. But we got into this like competing, like he comes from California to hunt for elk, and both of us would have a tag. And I was finally like, I actually love calling and doing that.
best.
And so I was like, how about this? You draw archery and I'll just hunt the rifle seasons.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
go
a
from
lot
there.
of times if you're hunting in first season, the elk it's almost been like the prime rut. Like you can call and
It's been wild.
yeah,
That has
awesome.
been wild. But anyways, like really, honestly, how many arrows do you think you just?
So I try to at least, well, that's not true. When I'm traveling, I have a whole setup that I bring with me that's just my release, and it's
Okay.
a piece of 550 cord that's set up to my draw length
Yep.
with a little bit of, I think they call it serving, but it's what they create your D loop to
Yeah.
hook your release to. So I have that kind of jigged up with like an arrow puller as the riser.
Yeah.
And I'm just working on my break. So I try to do that 30 times a day or 30 arrows.
Okay.
So let's say, I mean, maybe gone 100 days out of the year or something. So 200 times 30, 6,000 arrows, maybe,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah. So the big thing that like and this is like a discussion amongst, I would say, new industry people, whatever, people that are involved, is just like, people got to put some time behind the rifle. You know, you can't, I don't know, the way I would put it, you can't show up to the World Series without practice or whatever, you know, whatever you could correlate it to. It's like the thing that I would like to see people do is actually put some effort into, and it's not, I'm not trying to sell things or whatever, but there's this nomenclature that you need this huge gun to harvest animals. And what I would say is you need the gun that fits you well and that you enjoy shooting, and put some time behind it. Get some trigger time. Take a class. And you know, for hunting, because if you do all the prep work up to, right, which includes, you know, hiking, packing, you know, you buy all the cool gear and all the doodads, and like, I get it. Like, I love cool stuff too. But like, if you don't put time behind the rifle or time behind the bow, you miss the huge, I think, ethical line, personally.
1,000%. That's why I do it. It's a year-long training regimen. It's the only reason I go to the weight. Well, it's not the only reason. I go to the weight room for 2 reasons. It puts me in better shape for archery season.
Yep.
The only reason I really hike as much as I do, or like right now, I try to at least walk 3 miles a day.
Yeah.
I normally break that up into 3 times a day, bare minimum, no negotiations, no matter where I'm at, whatever. I'm walking 3 miles a day. But like ramping up into archery season, I'll throw on like a 40-pound pack and I'll go for a 5-mile hike.
Yep.
You know, and I'll do it. I'm looking for like 1,000 feet of elevation.
Yep.
You know, climb in that, and that's primarily for bow hunting. But the other reason I lift weights is like I just want to be ready in case something comes up. Like if I need to rescue my kids,
Yep.
or I need to pull somebody out of a burning car, or
Right.
somebody gets in an accident and they're down the side of a cliff and I have to pull them up, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like
In life.
life.
Yep.
Yeah. But not only that, it helps me mentally.
Yeah.
And I try to keep that in mind when I'm in the weight room, when I'm feeling lazy. And it's like, I start thinking about like,
I need more of that
Yeah.
in my life.
it's hard, man. If I don't go first thing in the morning, it doesn't get done. Like for me personally, it's like, I have to wake up,
And do it.
go. And the best part is for me is I try not. Another reason why I like microdosing is it keeps me focused because it's real easy to get caught up in your day and everything
Yep.
that you could do. But I found the more that I'm just focused, like this is my only task, I'm going to pour in 100% devotion to this one task at this time.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'll pour my devotion into this or that or
Right.
whatever until it's done.
Holy cow. Yeah.
It's been huge.
I've strayed away from that, I would say. Just in general life, whatever it may be. But that's the thing I think about all the time, though, is that guys, they want to blame the lack of success on a cartridge, a rifle, a scope, whatever. And really, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is they didn't put any time behind it.
1,000%. And this is what drives me nuts about the whole concealed carry thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can carry a weapon everywhere you want and it's a safety blanket, but like, are you actually going to pull it and be proficient? Like, I wonder that sometimes because like I carry a 10 millimeter in the woods for predators or cartels or whatever I'm going to run into. But like literally if I had a grizzly charging me, you know, that's running 40 miles an hour, am I going to be able to draw that weapon tripping over logs or whatever to turn around and try to actually put bullets downrange that are effective?
That's actually,
I mean, luckily there's 17, 15, 10 in the mag, you know, but it's like,
that's actually an interesting conversation that's come up out there is that a lot of folks have, that's one of the first things they say when they come up, right, to our shop. Well, what's the best thing for bears? And it's like, this is, maybe it's not good for sales, but I don't carry a pistol, personally. I have a rifle, so, whatever, but the whole pistol thing for me is like, I'm not in Alaska, I'm down here in Colorado where it's, hit a drainage and you're at a road or you're at a creek or whatever. But the guys that have talked about this, that have had like actual like run-ins with bears and stuff like that, is these guys actually trained with their pistols. And like,
for like a bear scenario?
Yeah, like a bear scenario. And what they found was just like, it's rounds on target, period. It doesn't matter what it is, rounds on target. Yeah. And these guys actually had an occurrence of this, and they were in Alaska, and they were vetted of the situation and let go, because that's really taken very seriously up there.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, that's the whole other thing. Like, even if you shoot a person or a bear, you're going to end up in court, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole new level of responsibility.
Yeah, and I would honestly say in today's day and age, and this is, again, not a sales thing, I'm just telling you, having an insurance policy, if you are going to carry concealed, is probably a good thing, because there's two things that are definitely happening. You're definitely getting arrested, and you're definitely going to jail.
Yep.
No matter how cut and dry it is.
Guilty until proven innocent.
Yes.
Truly.
And it's currently happening right now in our state. So I would just say, just know there are consequences to the actions, and training and knowing that you are responsible for every single round that comes out of that gun.
Yeah.
Which is, that's a big deal. The big thing I always, I'll just, do this, that, and the other. And it's like, I don't know, man. I talk to some of these guys that are like, they've been there, they've done that, and they just have that ability to act in that time, right? And I can't say that I personally have had that, unless it came to like medical, right? Where there was a lot of people that went through the training, did all the stuff, did all the scenarios and stuff. And then you put them in real life scenario, and you have mom screaming, and you have dad, kicking a hole through the door, and you have to take care of the kid. There's a lot of people that can't function in that even being an outsider,
Yeah.
right? Like being able to function, which is what I would relate it to. And you have to make a split-second decision of like, bad guy, good guy. Who is this person?
Yeah.
You know?
What am I using as
Yeah.
force too? Like,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, a lot of times you're better off getting out of the situation. And like my buddy Grant Doom says it best, you know, like he's a stud and he teaches tactical training and
Yeah.
all this shit, right? Like Ragnar Tactical, like fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like he was a SWAT guy for so many years. But the FBI statistic is 3 feet and 3 seconds
Yep.
and it's over. So like if you can't, honestly, what you need is some like combatives, I
Yeah.
think, if you're going to carry. It's like
Yep.
you're probably going to have somebody on you while you're drawing your pistol,
Yep.
like, or it's going to be that close. Like you better have the drop on them. You better have one in the chamber.
Yeah.
I hate to say that. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to chamber around.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing too that I've taken away from that is I'm so lucky that I get to sit down and have so many friends that are have operated at a very high level, whether
Yep.
they were Green Berets or
Yeah.
DevGru SEALs or
Right.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Have been in that urban environment and talking to them and just being able to break down like, okay, what if somebody is in my house? And they're like, well, dude, the first thing is lines in the sand.
Yes.
Like you don't want to start shooting up somebody and then your kids are in the bedroom behind you where you're throwing bullets, right? Like you need to know where everybody's at in the house. You better have it chambered.
Yeah.
You better not have to like get it.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be woken up from a sleep, right?
Yeah.
I've taken a different approach, and this is my personal approach with like even going to the movie theaters or into an airport
Yeah.
or a kid's school or a public environment, is I'm literally going everywhere with IFAC now.
Yes.
And there's some awesome companies out there that I'm working with now. Snake Staff Systems
Dude.
builds a really good
Yes.
tourniquet. I got to show you
I have
this.
them. We carry them at the store.
Oh, you do?
Absolutely.
They're incredible dudes
Yes.
too, man.
Yes.
They just sent me some stuff for a protection gig
Yep.
to give to some guys.
Nice.
And it's an inside the waistband IFAC,
Yep.
and it's a one-hand deploy. But it's basically 2 things of packing gauze, some chest seals.
Yep.
We have some gloves in there. There's a CPR mask, a little bit of tape, like everything to basically plug like a bullet hole, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Or at least some life-saving shit that you can carry inside your waistband. It's
Yep.
super comfortable. So I've kind of adopted that. Like,
Yeah.
And guess what? You can get on a plane with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nobody's even stopped me at the TSA. Like your likelihood of getting in a car accident and using one of those products is way more likely than being in an active shooter situation or something. You know, it's like those things work everywhere and they're life-saving. And like, a person bleeds out in like 3 minutes if it's an arterial bleed or like
if it's right place.
the average response time in
You're
the
done.
US is like 6 minutes. You're fucked.
Yeah. And what I would say is me personally, the thing that I've adopted just from all the stuff that I've done, the only thing that I ever carry is a tourniquet.
Yeah.
Personally. That's the only thing I ever carry. And honestly, it just comes down to I can throw it in each bag and in my truck or whatever. And I know that me personally is like, that's the one thing I've used in my career that I know 100% is going to save somebody.
Yeah.
The chest seals and stuff are definitely huge things, but like I'm just minimizing it too.
Yeah, you can carry a tourniquet into anywhere, and the
Yep.
Snake Staff system ones they have so much like comfortability. I actually might have one. Well, we got a cat laying here on the table, but
It's
there's
Doppler proven too,
Yeah.
which is important. So they actually have tested.
don't
it.
go buy your tourniquets on like
Yeah.
Amazon or some shit. Like
Yeah,
get them from Snake Staff or North American Rescue
Yep.
or like an actual supplier.
they're a reputable source too.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
I like the Snake Staff stuff because it's more compact. If you're carrying it every day, I'm more likely to carry it because it's more comfortable and like the whole thing.
Like that big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the little one,
Yep.
and then the wide, the next generation that they came out with. They're building some really cool stuff. I was able to go to SHOT Show this year,
Nice.
and they had a really cool booth set up with some like visor.
Yeah.
It's like a visor
And just-
for your truck.
Yep.
And it has everything in there, IFAC wise, and
Yep.
then some. a couple tourniquets, but yeah, that's huge, man. I think getting the proper training in him though too, because we had so Sam Boyer Goff is a friend of mine. He's prep medic on YouTube.
Okay.
We've had him on the podcast a couple times. I need to have him back.
Yeah.
Incredible dude. Like he's on a helicopter unit.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a SWAT medic. And the guy's had some real life experience with gunshot wounds and all that shit. Like pretty heavily, like chest seals and pushing a lot of medicine and you know, the whole nine. But anyways, he came up and I just said, hey, I'd love for the staff, if it's okay if we film it, can we do a little bit of training on a tourniquet? Like I've never actually had, like, even though I know how they work and I've watched YouTube videos and stuff.
Right.
And he just picked me apart, you know, like I put it on wrong. I didn't put it on tight enough. He brought up a bleed trainer, like one of the true clot ones where the blood actually clots.
Yep.
And just doing that training, that elevated it's a natural reaction. Like that elevated my heart rate and I didn't realize how much gauze, like even though you carry hemostatic gauze and all this shit, I didn't realize how much gauze would actually fit into like a bullet hole in a leg or something like that. Dude, you better take your t-shirt off too. It's like literally it's, you know, yards of it that you're pulling out of it when it's all said and done. And that getting the proper training for it, I think is huge.
The big thing too is when you do training like that, when you're in a scenario, a real life situation, is your brain goes to that like what did you train on, right? And you go to that level of thinking of like, oh, that's right, open the tourniquet, put it on, tighten it, twist it, okay, cool, now I know. I'm a true believer in that like getting, if anything, take a CPR class. Like just take a CPR class. That's more likely than anything else.
Yep.
I
think it becomes a motor skill.
Stop the bleed classes. Those classes, like there's two things, like, you know, I would say CPR and stop the bleed are those two classes that are pretty simple, that, you know, don't take a lot of effort and honestly can truly make a difference.
Huge difference.
Like, especially me personally, from my experience, I would say CPR. Like knowing how to do CPR. Like I have seen that more than once save somebody's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just people in a restaurant.
And you can go do it. If you look up your local fire department, they do classes like, I think, you know, every couple months or something. It's free.
Yep.
Right? I mean, your tax dollars are paying for that probably, but to you, you're not like, whatever, just go get it done, man. Especially if you have kids or like anybody that you care about around you. You know, and I think that that's way more effective than carrying around a firearm to put down a shooter. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it's like, honestly, I think you should have both. From
a like actual incident rate and the two, you would think, I mean, in my experience, somebody having a heart attack is more likely than, you know, or
a car accident. Like think about all the car accidents that are out there.
Yeah. 285. Holy cow.
Yeah, man.
True.
Death trap, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've used a tourniquet twice, and both of them have been in car accident situations.
Really?
And it's because I carry them in my truck.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And maybe they didn't need them, but maybe they did. Hey, I don't fucking know. I'm not a paramedic.
Don't be that guy. Yeah.
But somebody was bleeding enough that it was puddles of blood. Yeah. So I like
put it on, and then they can figure it out.
Right.
Honestly, because it's not gonna damage like what.
There's also like this misconception that you can't help somebody because then you'll be liable. Like,
no.
Dude, throw all that bullshit out the window. Be a good human being.
Yes.
And truly try to help somebody.
Yep.
Obviously, don't hinder them anymore, or don't do anything stupid. Don't put a tourniquet around their neck. Right? Like, but if you have that level of training and you're confident enough, dude, step in and help somebody, man. I think that's your duty as a person. It's a golden rule, man. It's like, help your brother or sister, man.
You see that a lot on, I would say 285 just because that's the route that we drive. You know, people with flat tires or whatever, just maybe they ran out of gas. I don't know. You know, for the most part, it's like, man, you just pull over and just, hey, do you need help? No? Okay, cool. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's all it takes, man.
You know?
Yeah. No, I think it's super important. What do you guys offer all sorts of training and stuff at Salida Gun Shop?
Yeah.
What do you guys got coming up? We're going to wrap this up here because
So a big one right now is we're doing a lot of the concealed carry classes.
Nice.
And the concealed carry classes is very entry level, right? We're going to make sure you're proficient enough to actually be signed off. We're not going to just push you through. So we definitely want to make sure that you can actually be safe with a firearm. The other one is combat holster. So that kind of gets more into drawing a firearm from a holster and that type of thing, which concealed carry is not, right? So concealed carry is to fit the needs of the state, make sure you're safe. Some of the other stuff that we've been putting on are some, oh my gosh, they are called hunter safety classes.
Oh, nice.
So we're doing that. We offer that.
But it's not through the state to get your hunter safety.
It
This
is through
like
the state.
Oh, it is.
So
No shit.
So we bring in a certified instructor, and we offer our room for free. So there's no charge. And we've been trying to put on at least one hunter safety a month. So
That's incredible, man. Because they're hard to find kind of like certain times of the year because CPW was the only one that was doing it.
that's what we found around our area was locally we were having people having to drive to Denver. You know, we've actually seen at our classes people from Greeley, people from Grand Junction taking these classes, which I think is a disservice to our kids. You know, kids, if they're going to be around firearms, they need to have that initial instruction, right? They need to know like how to properly like, hey, firearm, I need to tell an adult, you know, or hey, don't touch it or
The reason why I've trained my kids is strictly for the sole purpose so they're not intimidated by it, which is still it's intimidating for me when a gun is out. If you laid your gun out on the table, I would be intimidated a little bit. There'd be a level of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's so valuable for them to shoot so they understand how it works, how easy it works.
Yep.
But more importantly, how to disarm one.
Yep. The big thing I would say about that and that description of a firearm is it's twofold, right? Because you should have a level of respect for firearms, but then there's also the other side of that of people who have lost their respect for firearms, which I would say we see quite often when people bring firearms into the shop to have service done or whatnot, and it becomes an unsafe situation real quickly where you're like, hey man, you just pointed the muzzle at another human being. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and we try to educate people. We don't try to berate people, but like, that's like, you know, our big thing is educating people on just firearm safety. Like, man, I don't care if you know it's unloaded. I need to see that it's unloaded.
Yeah.
Right? And then we're going to treat it as it's loaded all the time. Like, but that's a thing, right? Like, because we have a lot of different people from different walks of life. Maybe this is their first time entering into a gun shop. You know, maybe, maybe they're going through a hard time right now where they're getting a firearm because of what's going on in their life, and they feel like this is going to be a protective piece to that safety. Because a piece of paper doesn't protect you.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. We've unfortunately seen that quite a bit recently.
Absolutely.
But I think it's, it's a good thing to have a healthy respect of firearms,
And some proper training with it. Like,
Yeah.
if you're intimidated by it, you're honestly, when I say I was intimidated, it would just make me more aware.
Right.
I guess I'm not really intimidated. Like, I would know how to pick it up
Yeah.
and disarm just about any firearm.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
maybe not a minigun, but, but I'd like to figure that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, having the confidence, if you are going to have a weapon to use for protection, like, you got to have the confidence behind it or you're
Yeah.
never going to win, dude.
No.
It's like stepping onto the football field and trying to play defensive end and
Right.
with no experience and no confidence, like, you're going to get eaten alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you see it every day, right? I would say we see it a lot with like husbands and wives and boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff like that. Oh, you need to get this. Oh, you need to get that. And honestly, I feel like when people are purchasing firearms or handling fire, just in general, I would say get something that fits you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's a 22 or if it's a freaking 454 Casull.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, but you shoot me with a 22, I'm gonna go away quickly.
1,000%.
Right? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I think the same correlates along the hunting lines. Is they all do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? The one that you shoot most effectively is the one that you should use.
Absolutely.
That's
why it kind of drives me nuts in the archery world too, is because you have all these social figures, and I'm not knocking any of them, and they all have their opinions.
Yeah.
And then you get guys following that, and it's like they're shooting these 90-pound bows where they would be a lot more accurate and more effective, because archery is 100% accuracy, man.
Yeah.
And you should set your kill box up to what that is, right? Like, if I know that I can hit a baseball-sized target from anywhere in 20 yards, uphill, downhill, sideways, on my knees, that should be your kill box. Right? Or maybe 10 yards then.
Yes.
And then you just work it back from there. But if you can't do that because you're pulling, and if you can do that with drawing 50 pounds, it's way more effective than drawing 90 pounds. And now you're can't
stressed.
hit a paper plate
Right.
at 20 yards, right? Because you're stressed, you can't hold the bow, you're not physically fit enough, or whatever it is, man.
I see that a lot with like rifle cartridge choices.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say it, and I'll say it till day I die. We have harvested a lot of elk with a 6.5 Creedmoor. People hate it. That's fine. Big thing I would say is it's effective. It works. I'll tell people all the time, a lot of guys on wildlife services, a lot of guys harvesting animals for programs or whatever are shooting 243s.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your big boomer stuff. So when you tell your 110-pound daughter to shoot a 300 Win Mag, that's probably a bad place to start.
Yeah.
Because then they won't enjoy it. And at the end of the day, it's about enjoyment. And the last 10 seconds of the whole situation should be effective, but at the same time, it should be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Putting the round where it's supposed to go is super important, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Plus, there's more gratification for me in that. Is it like that accuracy is like a positive feedback loop. That's why I get it through archery, I think. It's just like that.
Yeah.
It's reaffirmation that, hey, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We I would say, I don't want to say combat that discussion a lot, but it just is this weird folklore of like, you have to have the biggest thing on the block to take down an elk. And what I would say is there's guys out there in the woods with archery equipment
Yeah.
harvesting elk all the time.
Go look up Tom Clum, dude. He does it with a traditional bow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like just animal anatomy.
Yeah.
Understand that.
Yes.
Understand where to hit them
Yeah.
and where you can hit them accurately, and set some limits on yourself, man. Like, because you're gonna get excited, like pulling up your rifle and
Yeah.
to the rifle range and shooting, 500 yards,
Yeah.
and coffee's next to you
Oh,
and all
yeah.
that sort of shit. But
Yeah.
when you're running up a mountain,
Yeah.
and your heart's going 1,000,000 miles an hour, and then you're out of breath, and then that elk bugles, maybe it's first season, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole nother ball game, man. Like, even to this day, I still get the knee knocks and shit, and like hair standing up on my arms is like, oh my God, am I really doing this? And it comes down to the confidence and the faith in it, and the faith in my shot sequence.
Oh, yeah.
And the mantra to reset me, to get me into it. And like, that's how I'm successful with archery. And it doesn't always work out that way either.
That one
Like, sometimes you fuck it up, dude. Like, we're
Yeah.
humans,
mistakes can be made.
Yeah.
It's how you follow it up, honestly.
Yeah.
One of the big things that my business partner and I have been doing recently is shooting NRL hunter competitions.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is just blind stages, and it's on a timer. And, I can say I'm not the, the greatest ever, and we're not winning championships or anything like that. But
What is it? Is it like a tactical games type
So-
mentality where you're
No.
like, okay,
it's, what it is they have blind stages, so you don't know where the targets are. You go up to a sighting stake, and you're on a timer, and then they have left and right limits. And so in the stages, what they'll have is like they'll have a 1 target, 4 positions, 2 targets, 2 positions, 4 targets, 1 position. So you got to go up to the stake. So you come up, you're on timer, hit the stake. From that stake, you could see all the targets, or you're supposed to be able to, right? You got to find them, you got to range them, you got to set up, and you got to shoot them. So they do a 2-1 dead target. So meaning you get 2 points on first round impact, 1 point on second round impact, 0 points for a miss. Move on to the next target. Big thing is I started shooting that because I was like, I want that end piece for me to be just straightforward. I know how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This is my wheelhouse now. Because now you're shooting targets that are anywhere from, I don't know, I would say the closest one I've seen is probably 120 yards to 1,000 yards.
really?
Yeah, so it's within that
Yeah.
distance, right?
That's crazy.
So you got to, call wind, you got to dial, your gun setup has to be right for you. You got to meet.
Are you doing that by is it a solo, or is
So
it
we do it
with
as a
partner?
team.
Okay.
So we're doing it as a team. You can do it solo. They have 4 different divisions. So they have a skills division, which is like you're brand new, you want to learn, and let's say you walk up to the stage and the range officer can show you where the targets are and say, hey, go ahead and shoot them. And the timer's kind of like, just build your position, shoot the targets. The next step up for that is factory class, which is factory rifle has to meet certain requirements. Then they have open light class, which is like some, pretty high dollar rifles and stuff, hot rods.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have open heavy, and then they have teams. So we've been shooting it as a team, and it's super fun, super fun. The big takeaway for me is now the harvesting of the animal is like 0.1% stress level.
Yeah.
Because you've done this now. Like we've shot several competitions now, to where it's just like this is how I get a range. I dial, I set up my position, boom,
Done.
make the shot, done.
It's a motor skill at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
It's funny because I take that same exact approach in archery. I should be, like, starting last month, I try to go to American Bowman twice a week, which is like this 3D archery course. It's a private course, Fucking amazing place.
Yep.
Shout out to everybody that runs it and is a member up there. It's incredible. It's 40 targets in the summer.
Yes.
They're 3D targets. They're real hunting scenarios. Like you might be shooting through gap trees this at something at 60 yards.
Yes.
But what I do is I love going by myself because in an archery situation, you're typically by yourself. Even if you're in a calling situation, your caller is going to be set up 60 yards from you. But I'll throw on the heavy pack and maybe even really try to hoof it or even run in between those targets to get my heart rate up.
Yep.
And then no time for anything like knock an arrow.
Yep.
Check my range, knock an arrow.
Yep.
Go through the mantra, shoot.
Yep.
And if it's a kill, it's a kill. You know, if it's within those vitals, I'm very happy. And if not, but you're shooting elevated heart rate. You're not on flat concrete. You're shooting up and down hill, off of cliffs. Like, it's as close as you can get without moving targets. And now you have Sam Westfall, shout out, in Archery in Motion that has a few moving targets up there too.
Oh, nice.
You know?
Heck
yeah. So it's just like, there's no better way, but that gives me so much confidence in just knowing like, okay, my heart rate's elevated. Yeah, this elk is coming in. Take a breath, knock your arrow, just go through the process.
The big thing I would tell folks that like if they want to train on their own, one of the biggest things I would say that assisted me was a timer. And what it is if you want to see somebody fall apart behind a rifle, you get that little beep on a timer.
The pressure.
And it just I've seen people that I can say I've seen people who even myself included, who behind a timer you just like brain dump and you're like, oh, what magazine in back? What am I doing? You know, where I would say like, you know, if you want to really get after it and train from a hunting aspect, putting yourself in, you know, some positions, positional shooting, take a class. Like I recommend that to everybody. Is there are some amazing trainers out there who teach at Cameo. You know, one guy I would highly recommend is Brian Whalen from Colorado Precision Rifle, and he's got some cool classes, and he's able to like teach you things on a level that's very understanding, and you'll break through, right? Where you know, you have those situations where, I don't know, the elk does something weird and goes right when you thought it was going left, and you're like, oh, I'll just get a different range, change it. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know, versus, you just see people fall apart in that situation. So timer, shoot some rounds, take a class.
That's right. And if they wanted to get connected with any of that, they could do it through Salida Gun Shop, right?
They could do it through Salida Gun Shop, or, you know, we'll just pass along the information. Brian Whalen's website is, I think it's Colorado Precision Rifle, CPR rifle.
Nice.
So
it's easy to remember.
Yeah. And he's super nice. He's a, you know, retired special operations guy, and he's got all the knowledge, and he's shot all the stuff, and he's shot like cool competitions, competition dynamic stuff, which is a super, used to be underground competition, but now is like really big. It's very much like what you were talking about, like sniper challenge type stuff. Yeah. But his way that he delivers information, even for someone like myself that takes in a lot, reads a lot, I try to shoot a lot of rounds every week. His little tidbits that he just turns on these light bulbs that you're just like, whoa, okay, oh man,
that's awesome.
You know,
yeah, I have that. Maybe I need to go take one of his classes because I have that in the archery world with like Tom Klump, and Joel Turner, and all these guys. You know, but like on the firearm side, there's a whole nother level to.
I find that like
stuff
super interesting. Like trainers that are able to
hire a trainer, you're gonna make light years.
Yes.
Of speed, you're going to make up for time. You're just basically, it's a knowledge transfer.
Yes.
Everything that they know,
yes,
they're teaching you in a short amount of time, and the learning curve and your confidence level. And like, don't be too prideful for that, man.
No.
Like in everything.
Yeah.
Even if it's going into the weight room.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge, you know, thing. Like I work with a trainer, and everything that I do.
Yeah.
Whether it's stop the bleed or
Yeah.
or going into the weight room, you know?
Just listen to what they have to say, because they've been there and they've done that, right? They've probably done, like, they've probably had 10 of those items that are, marketed on, social media or via somewhere. And they're like, you should probably try this one.
Yeah, be humble when you go into it too. Don't make it a dick measuring contest of like, this is what I know.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna eat you. Like you're paying for something now, somebody's expertise, and you're trying to tell them what you do.
Right.
Like, just shut up and listen.
Yes.
Especially in the firearms industry. Like going to SHOT Show this year for the first time, I was just like, some of the people that are cruising around there blow my mind, dude. Like,
It's I will say this. For a shop owner and a buyer, it's a tough one to go to. Just because there's so much going on. And for me, at our level, the business is not being accomplished there. Relationships, sure, but there's just so many people.
it's
wild.
overwhelming.
It's wild because
It's overwhelming, man.
there's things that you see there that you're like, oh my gosh, you have an awesome product, but you're on level 3 and nobody's buying onto that right now. Where there's some companies that are out there that are just, I would say, they don't market, they don't put stuff out there. Maybe they do SHOT Show, maybe they don't. That are like some high level products that you're just like, I want your product in our shop. Like, we got to have this because it is that cool. Like, it is light years ahead of like something that's really marketed really well.
Right.
Some of the big guys.
It's a fascinating industry, man. There's so much to it. It's like
there's a lot.
so much engineering. Like the engineering, even just look at archery and compound bows. Like the engineering feats that are behind that it blows my freaking mind. It's a work of art, man.
I am not jealous of archery shops. And why I say that is there are so many SKUs for different things, and they always have something new in the hopper that's coming out. So it's always like, wait, last year you guys released this, and now you're releasing this. What?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
It's
holy
wild.
cow.
Yeah.
What? I mean, some of their products are really cool, though, honestly. Advancements. I would say just like packs,
Oh, it's insane. Just like the whole industry as a whole. Like, look at where we're at now compared to like red flannels and fucking, construction boots, dude. Like, look at where we're at now just in the gear that you can have. Forget about the firearms or the weapon side of it.
Right.
It's like, or even just blades and like everything, man, is just like the next level of just mind-blowing shit. It's awesome.
And then you find what you like and you're like, I'm holding on to this. And then something else comes out and you're like, maybe not.
Yeah, that's incredible. Do you guys sell online at Salida Gun Shop? Like, I know you guys can buy merch. I'm buying one of those shirts, by the way, too.
So we have the merch shop because of shadow banning or whatever.
Okay.
So because of like how the internet works nowadays, so our gear shop, or like if you want like to get t-shirts or whatever, is just Salida Gear.
Okay.
.com, SalidaGearShop.com. And then like our online, you can go to SalidaGunShop.com, and that'll can regulate you to shop SalidaGunShop.com, which is like all our firearms, anything in the shop.
So if somebody lived in the right state, could they buy a firearm from Salida Gun Shop and have it shipped to a PFL
Any
or
state.
a FFL?
FFL.
FFL. Yeah.
Yep.
PFL is a fight league.
Yeah, they could buy it from us online. We do have another website that'll be standing up here pretty soon, which would be called pyrus.com, and that will be powered by Salida Gun Shop.
Okay.
And really what that comes down to is on the internet side, we get heavily regulated and banned. I mean, we try to keep our Instagram as plain Jane as possible. Just because
we even get it here at the mountainside.
It's kind of wild.
We get so shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild. It's wild. Just from the people that I'm having on. So,
Yeah.
Which has honestly been a little bit of a blessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty wild.
But they like, I don't know. I look at it as it's interesting what's on the internet and what is able to be posted on the internet, on social media and all that type of stuff. And then us showing safety of a firearm is like not okay. It's wild.
It's so backwards.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's as you grow, there are people that don't like that. So they, report or whatever. And you get certain, what do they call them? Strikes. We've gotten those. We've gotten the threatening letter of we're going to take your, page down and that type of thing. So
we've gotten it too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of at this point. I'm like, whatever, dude. Like,
yeah. So we just want to.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. We just want to make sure that, we can get to everybody and grow it bigger. Like I said, our big thing is not margins. It's honestly community education and awareness. Like we're not about what a lot of the other places are about, I would say. I think that's what makes us stand out.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to the shop, I think a lot of people would be surprised because one of the most common things that people say when they come in is, "Holy cow!" Because a professional shooter came in, or I would say a very well-known shooter came in not too long ago and said, "Oh my God, it's like everything you want online, but right here."
That's awesome. I love that. I'm coming down. I really am. I just haven't had a reason. Now I got a reason to come. And I've been so busy, but I will make the trip, man. And more importantly, man, like you guys are all awesome. Adam, you especially, man.
Thanks.
I really appreciate like you making the time to come up here, and
No,
we've been burning through your time like crazy.
You're good.
But
yeah,
we so we're gonna wrap this up. But yeah, man, support good people, man.
Yeah.
And I know Adam's a good one. So like, yeah, definitely support good people and their businesses. And we'll have live links to Salida Gun Shop, to CRWM, to everything that we pretty much talked about today in the show notes. Go to themountainside.com, read the blog, that whole page and all that sort of stuff. All the content's there. It's a one-stop shop. Sweet. And we'll have all the links in there.
Cool.
And then, is it a podcast Salida Gun Shop? Or
it's Salida Gun Shop on YouTube. And then it's
YouTube,
also available on Spotify. I believe we've started pushing it out to all the podcast sites. So
awesome.
Should be available.
Yeah, some big law changes coming up. If you want to stay up and hip to what's coming down the pipeline and wildlife policy, listen to Through the Gates or Salida Gun Shops. Like you guys have been, you and Josiah have been awesome, man. Like, thank you so much for being a voice and actually putting your business in front of that, and behind it, like.
And the big thing I wanted to say, and I do thank you for having us on, is that we have reached out to all sides, and there's only been one side that's actually come and shown up for podcasts. So
it's funny. I've experienced the same thing.
Yeah, I would just like to let that be known that we are not a one size fits all. I just want to say that we have reached out to everybody, and it's not that we don't want them on. It's just that they have chosen to not come on. So,
that's awesome, man. I think that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Like, and if you guys change your mind and want a platform,
absolutely,
you know where to find it.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to berate somebody either, right? Like, we're going to sit down and have a civil conversation. I'm going to treat you like a human being.
100%.
The moment that you don't treat me like one, maybe I'll turn it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a common respect. And it's funny, man. Like, you meet people face to face, eye to eye, in a private room, in a private environment like this where you can say whatever you want that's soundproof.
Yep.
I bet you we have a lot more in common than we have.
I think that's Colorado in general.
Yeah.
There's a lot more in common than people realize.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think I want to be careful with my words here, But I think it's okay to have a spine. It's okay to have an opinion too. Don't be afraid to if you're listening to this, and don't be afraid to share with people how you feel, man.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's the truest form. Doesn't mean that you have to agree with them or that you have to leave it in a confrontation. It doesn't have to be, but like, look at what we did at those commission meetings.
Yes.
There was people from both sides of the fence. Everybody got along civilly.
Yep.
There was a shitload of law enforcement there to make sure if something did get Western,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, I was actually really surprised. That was, you know, it was pretty cordial.
Yeah, and there was like 400 people there, something like that. It was pretty big.
It was awesome. It was a great hangout. I got to see you. I got to see Christine. Everybody.
There's quite a few people.
Cody.
You know, a big thing I would say, if people are wondering, is we do have to show up.
Yes.
We have to show up. We have to vote, you know. And don't vote just because I'm telling you to vote. Vote because you need to hold people accountable.
And educate yourself in what it truly is.
Yeah.
And think about how it affects everybody, not just you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we want a better Colorado than what we currently have, we need to make that be known.
Absolutely.
You know, I said it to Dan, and I said it to, you know, a couple of the gubernatorial candidates. I said, we went to Rifle, Colorado, and we were in Silt, and it was really interesting to go over there and go, man, I don't know how well these people are represented at the Capitol.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, when you really boil it down, you look at some of like the lifestyle and what people are doing on the Western Slope. It's like it's a whole different island of people.
It's crazy what the Continental Divide actually divides from culture, people, values.
Yes.
So much to the point, there's a reason why they hate the Front Range.
Yeah.
You know?
And I would say, not to drag this on.
Yeah, no, we can.
But I was thinking about this on the drive down, and it was something that you know, when I left California, that divide was, if some of you haven't been to California, and a lot of people I hear, oh, I hate California, I hate Californians. I get it. There's a lot of Californians that came to Colorado that screwed a whole bunch of stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it, it's very pointed little places in California that did that. And there's a lot of other places that are amazing.
It's incredible.
Super cool people, super cool places, historical places. But I would say that correlates to Colorado right now when you talk about the Front Range and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to see that be it.
The crazy part too is like when we say Front Range, there's still a ton of people with the values of people on the Western Slope. There's still this Western culture that is thriving and is alive in Denver. And like so many of my friends and guests that we've had on that live in Denver or Cherry Creek or Parker or wherever, right? That's all considered Evergreen's considered Front Range, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, we're probably one of the most left-leaning cities it's very much like a Boulder or something here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Salida's the same.
Yeah.
Right?
It's art town, you know, like you got all that. Like, and it's fine, man. They're cool people.
Yeah.
As long as they don't try to cram policies down somebody else's throat and that sort of thing. For the most part, everybody just wants to live in their bubble, live in their world, and get on with life, right?
Yep.
And I think that, but anyways, I guess what I was saying is, even though it's Front Range, you know, there's still this Western heritage and culture and stuff of people that live on the Front Range.
Yep.
That value the same things that people do on the Western Slope. It's just a little bit different dynamic and
those people,
how close they are to it.
Those people are super important to what is currently happening right now in Colorado, because those are the people that your vote does count.
Mm-hmm.
Your vote counts. Like in those areas, those are the votes that count.
Especially when you start looking at like the wolf reintroduction, how close it was, how close the mountain lion, even 127 wasn't like
10%.
I mean, we won by a 10% landslide,
but
for pro hunting. But think about if you didn't show up or you forgot to get your ballot in or whatever, man. Like it's a huge impact, man.
Yeah. Like, and where I would say it's really big is Senate districts, House districts.
Those freaking commission meetings, because they slip stuff under the rug that we've already voted down.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got people lobbying and doing all this sinister, like, pay attention, man. And, like, I think the best place to do that on wildlife policy is just listen to Dan. Just pay attention and listen to what Dan's got, because he's devoted his life to this.
So one of the most, I would say, interesting podcasts that he put out more recently is podcast 93. And he literally points out in there how the money rolls, how the people are married or partners with, or who is appointed by the governor, and this, that, and the other. And man, when you start to build that tree and that flow chart, you look at it and you go, ooh, that deck is stacked.
Yeah.
Okay. So what occurred last week in the Senate with two of those commissioners stepping down, we'll call it stepping down, and the one commissioner getting voted, the Frances Blaney, she got voted onto the commission, and you have now two that got pushed out, which was they were going to get voted down in the Senate. Mm-hmm. And to save face, they've pulled their resumes from that. That's a huge piece coming into the next few months. A lot of people will look at that as, wow, you know, and it's like, man, right now, everything is a little win.
I think a lot of people, and I did for a long time, thought, well, there's no way that I can control that. That's all above me. But like, when it's a public hearing, like those emails, the letters, the stuff that like Hal does to make it nice and easy so you can email a congressman or something, even in another state. Like look at how that impacted Colorado from a national standpoint. People that couldn't vote here could still write a letter or send an email or a text message or however they take in information, voicing their opinion on, because there's so many people that travel to Colorado just for hunting.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's a huge, so
it's a voice that's unheard.
In the hunting industry, the hunting in Colorado is a huge piece to hear, right? Mm-hmm. So I think on the GDP side, I want to say it's like 7.4 billion or something like that, right?
It's so crazy.
But when you think of it from Colorado's standpoint, it's only like 2% of the actual GDP. So it's like it's not much on the scale, but in reality, that's a lot of money flowing through here for, you know, those little towns, those little places that like put out the welcome hunter signs and, hey, like, come buy get your breakfast here, whatever, hunters, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, that's very impactful to those
Well,
businesses.
not only that, like you start looking at a lot of agriculture is just, like, I don't know why anybody would be in the cattle industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really because of their heritage and the way of life, and they enjoy it, right? Like, I don't make a ton of money at what I do. I don't make a ton of money at this podcast,
right?
But I still continue to do it because of what I get out of it. And I think it's kind of that similar, like, last of a dying breed type mentality, and how that work ethic of, like, you know, raising young, strong people, men and women both, right? Because if you're in that environment. But then a big part of their business is reliant on the land that they have access to and what goes on there in hunting, whether they're leasing it to an outfitter or they're outfitting it themselves.
Or
that's
leasing
a huge revenue stream.
Or leasing it from the BLM or the Forest Service at market value. There's a couple things in there that I like They recently hit me, but also I've recently noticed on some social media stuff where people have this feeling that ranchers get stuff for free, whether that's the leases from the BLM or from the Forest Service or whatnot, and they don't. They pay for those. And I think where the state and the Forest Service and the BLM do benefit is that those ranchers are taking care of that land.
They're stewards of the land.
And they are number one stewards when it comes to land management. Currently right now, there's a lot of elk that are in the lower parts of the valley in our area. Where are they? They're on the private property, on the people's ground where they graze their beef. That is their land that they have had in their family for a long time. And they are keeping those animals healthy and ready to go for the next, whether it's hunting season, next life cycle, whatever. But a lot of people don't realize that, if they wanted to, they can, get those removed. But they don't. They don't do that, on those BLM leases, they have to take care of the fences. They have to take care. They have to make sure that they don't overgraze. There's lots of requirements. So this thought process of them getting stuff for free is just wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong, and it's not true.
Just the maintenance side of it.
It's not true. And one of the most impactful recent conversations I experienced was one of the commissioners who was on the petition to decrease wolf money back to the ranchers. He was on the petition, and then he had the open meeting. Well, in that meeting, there was two ranchers, and they were explaining that where they were heartfelt, right? They were like, we're raising these animals, and you're not allowing us to do what we need to do. And the impact that had on me to see these people who were two people running a ranch, raising animals, raising cattle, trying to make a living, trying to steward the land, but yet are being told by somebody else that, well, that's not going to be worth that anymore, or you can't do that because of somebody's pet project that they have on, and I'm not anti-wolf. Wolves are cool, I think just like anything, they have to be managed appropriately. I think Colorado is going to go through an interesting, I think we're going to go through an interesting few years over the next next couple of years. I think it's going to be really interesting because I think what a lot of people don't realize is the feds have always taken over wolf programs. Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the feds have always taken them over. It's always been a thing. Now what they decide to do will be for the betterment of the wolves and everything else.
I think that's an important piece to it is if you just look at it from the wolf's perspective, what's fair to them? You know what I mean? What's fair to them is for them to be wild.
Yeah.
They are a wild animal.
Yes.
They're a roaming animal.
Yep.
They're a nomadic animal. They need lots of ground.
And they're a pack animal.
Yeah. They need lots of space. They need lots of food.
Yep.
They're not small.
No.
And they need very little human interaction.
Yeah.
As minimal as possible to really be a healthy pack. Dude, we got 7 million people crammed in this state. And you want to talk about national arteries that run through the state.
Right.
It's divided in crosshairs. And then you have this spider web of highways and tourism and airport. We're the third largest airport in the world. Just air traffic. And what that does to animals, I know what it does to me hunting.
Yeah.
It makes me a more effective hunter, man. That's my one complaint when I am in nature is I wish I didn't have airplanes going overhead. You know what I mean? Because but honestly, that's when I'll start moving. Through if I'm putting the stock on or something, because the animals are so used to it. But
yeah.
you can't tell me that doesn't disrupt
Yeah.
them a little bit. But anyways, what I'm getting at is just, yeah, if you're in northern BC
And then you get
or
ripped.
Alaska or Yellowstone's a good example, right?
Yeah.
Because there's only certain spots that you can get into there with a motor vehicle. It's a 2-lane highway.
It's controlled.
It's controlled, right? Much more. And there's much more. I mean, this was a few years ago, but the population of the entire state of Wyoming was smaller than the city of Lakewood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you want to put it on perspective. So it's just, we have so many people that recreate in this state that are not hunters, that are riding side by sides and mountain bikes and backcountry hunters and rock climbers and boulders and you name it, paddle boarding. Like, dude, you could just go down the list. There's a sport. There's all kinds of crazy ass sports, dude. E-bikes now.
Yeah.
And like you have all this wild
And
stuff.
I want everybody to enjoy that stuff.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You look along those lines. It was I was talking to a game warden. He had a camera out, and he explained it this way. He goes, "I had a game camera out because I was monitoring the 3rd trimester of elk. They were calving." He goes, "At 2 a.m, somebody is snowshoeing through this area."
I bet you they get more people on their game cams a lot of times
Right?
than they do actual animals.
Yeah, and he was like, I would have never expected that, and that happened, and it was like, holy cow, like, yeah, these animals are in constant, constant contact, right? Whether that's, like you said, mountain biking, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
All these animals, it's not.
We have a real problem here in Evergreen because a lot of people think that they live in nature,
Yeah, yeah,
and they do,
yeah,
but they don't live with nature.
right.
So they think because of where they live that, okay, I have a dog, it can be off its leash and
Yeah.
it can just roam and it can do whatever it's want, and then I'll pick up its dog poop and put it in a plastic bag and leave it on the side of the trail and somebody will come and pick it up.
What's the story with that?
I have no fucking idea, dude. I'm trying to figure it out. Like maybe I'll get it on the way back and
Yeah.
then they just never get it. But it's like, it drives me insane. But during the mule deer fawning season,
Yes.
it's a real problem, man, because the moms will just leave the fawn
Yep.
if there's any sort of like interaction, and the fawn can't move for like 2 days.
Right.
So they're having them in these open space parks and people are just letting their dogs
Run all over.
run all over the fucking place. And it's like,
Yep. The
you're affecting wildlife much more than hunting is, or
The big one that the state's pouring money into right now, which is interesting, is the bear stuff. Mm-hmm. Right? People putting out bird seed, humming bird feeder, and I get it. We all love that stuff, but when you start having bears come around, relying on that stuff, and then those bears are then created into problem bears, then those bears have to be removed, right? Like the state is now pouring money into wildlife that shouldn't be there, shouldn't do that. Like, think twice, right? You're affecting the wildlife more than you can imagine.
yeah, and they regulated the management methods
Yes.
on bears about must have been 10 or 15 years ago, and look at where we're at now. They can't control them.
And the unfortunate thing is that there's bears that have to be removed that there's nothing they can do with them, right? And who's at a loss then? Everybody's at a loss, right? Because that's
agree,
taxpayer money. The bear loses its life, and maybe it's skinned out and the hide is sold at the auction, but at the end of the day, we lose. Right, we lose on that because the management has backed away from what actually works, right? Versus
Plus, there's no negative interactions with people. They become habituated to people, and I think that California is a prime example of that. And you look at mountain lion attacks
yeah,
since they've implemented that hunting ban, and now you have an apex predator that's not scared of people.
and I said this on Dan's thing too. Is I said, the feel-good policy stuff is great and all, but in the end of the day, it doesn't work, and they're removed anyways. There's actual mountain lions being removed by whether that's Wildlife Services or California Department of Fish and Game or ranchers or whatnot, because they're getting into llamas, deer, you name it, they've gotten into it, and those mountain lions are being removed. A lot of people's arguments are, well, we moved into their land, and it's like, well, we're here.
Yeah.
So we have to manage them, right? Because we are the apex predator.
Absolutely. We are part of the ecosystem. We have been since day one. I think that a lot of people, if they would just get in nature, would understand that. Like,
yeah.
You
just look at it and you go, okay, let's come back to common sense. Like, let's let the experts do what they do, versus, some of the stuff that's going on right now, or that you look at and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Why would we do that? Why would we stop doing what we've been doing that's been working for so many years? Why would we stop doing that? Because it sounds good? Because it feels good? One of the larger discussions right now in that, amongst the Colorado Parks and Wildlife is social science. And like, what feels good? And I look at that and I go, I don't give a fuck what feels good.
Yeah.
Honestly, it sucks, but like at the end of the day, like if XYZ animal is breaking into homes, or if XYZ animal is crashing through fences, or we're having several animals hit on the roadway, what does the science say we should do?
Absolutely.
Not the social science, the actual science. What does it say?
And I think people forget too that these are not, wolves don't have emotions.
No.
No. As much as you want to think that they do, and we've, our culture has been, we've been force-fed that as kids.
Yes.
Yeah. Like Bambi came out in 1950 or whatever.
Right.
And it's like you humanize an animal.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
To have feelings.
Yeah.
And those things don't care if your dog's going to eat you tomorrow if you die in your house, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably more likely
stop
your
feeding
cat.
them. Yeah.
But yeah, like that thought process to me is just like, whoa, we got to back off that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we won't have what we have, and it won't be what it is right now.
It was crazy. There was an art gallery that was literally like right down the street here.
Yeah.
And the whole gallery was based on humanizing animals, and it just made my stomach turn.
Uh-huh.
So it'd be like a bison in like a tuxedo, or like what's the guy that would read the books by the campfire or the fireplace at night with like the pipe, like a dressed up, like they would like, I don't know if it was, I think it was AI art too.
Really?
And it would basically like turn these animals, like a wolf, into like a businessman or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like that
whole
humanizing, a mule deer with a Starbucks cup in its hand. And it's like,
it's not the case.
it's not the case.
Well, I mean,
even though it's kind of cool, like I guess those are cool to look at, right?
For sure.
But it's just another level of that humanization, I think, that's
and I would say
missing point.
On the other side of the coin, or whatever you want to call it, is I always personally pay homage to the animal. If I take its life, I always take a second to say thank you. Where the reverse side is, the incident that came out of Wyoming of somebody capturing a wolf and
that was disgusting.
And I think people truly who hunt and who have this relationship with the outdoors are not okay with that.
No,
that's not somebody who represents us.
not at all.
Right?
And Matter of fact, if you go back and look at the social media trail behind that, the amount of people that pissed off that make their living solely are professional hunters, basically, right? Or outfitters, or they were all berating that.
Yes.
That douchebag.
Yeah. I think
myself included, I was one of those. Like, it's disgusting.
You take photos with animals. I think it's a form of artwork when you do take a photo with animals, right? And to do it as professional as possible, for the instance or whatever. And, trying to, if you're going to post something, then take a second.
Yeah. I think that there's levels to it that can make it tasteful. I think it's also good seeing kind of like, I think it puts a value on the life if you can show some of those breakdown photos like some of these people are doing. Like, this is truly what I'm going through after it happens. Like, I'm not just leaving it. Like, I'm taking all of this meat. Like, I'm showing the process afterwards. If you're truly interested, if it grosses you out, you can turn it off.
Right.
But I think the grip and grins, let's call them, right? I think there is a tasteful way to do that. I don't do it personally just because it's never been my thing.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have some of those. I share them with people that are like my personal friends.
Yeah.
Like, dude, look at this deer,
Nice.
like whatever, you know what I mean? But I've never got the posting them socially. And I think Cameron Haynes is one of the people that said it best a while back. He's like, if you're going to do it tastefully, man. Like, give the animal that honor. Like, tuck its tongue in its mouth. Like, don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a way to do it for sure. And I'm not knocking anybody that does do it. It's just my personal, like, anything. I think the other thing too is like anything that I do kill.
Yeah.
And I'm going to flat out call it killing because that's what you're doing. It's nothing that's going to get me any notoriety. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a 300 class bull. Let's just be honest, right? Like, it's not a 220-inch mule deer or even 180, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not me. That's not what I'm doing it. It's not what I'm doing it for. I've taken plenty of pictures of food that I've cooked and posted that, like steak or bison or like whatever, like,
Oh yeah. And it's interesting because passing along to newer people, I think that's one of the greatest joys I get personally is like maybe somebody who hasn't had that success yet and you see them get that success. It's like this last year had an opportunity at a nice mule deer, and most people would have shot it, right? And I just, to me, it's not that anymore. It's got to be something substantial, and that's just me personally. But my buddy was there, and his 6-year-old son was there, and I was like, dude, you got to come over here. Like, there's this nice buck, and I think you would like really like this buck. And I said, I think it'd be really cool to see your son for this. And he comes over and he kills it, and makes a great shot and does all that stuff. And his 6-year-old son, like, we pack up and go up, and I mean, he is like shaking and doing the like, holy cow, like, what is this? Right. And like, it was interesting to see his son go through this range of emotions, and interesting because he was learning. And the next week, season was over or whatever, and my buddy sent me a photo of his son drew a photo of him, me, and his son. So his son drew the photo, and it was my buddy, me, and the deer. And
awesome.
And it was like, oh, cool. Like, it was really impactful.
That's something he'll never forget. Like, I'll never forget my first field dressing experience. And like, I really think that I hope that my kids choose to experience that, and they've seen, like, they've helped me in like the butchering process, but they've never been there, and it's something that I've never forced on them. But I think it really puts a value on a life. Like, you understand what life is when you see something perish.
It takes it to the next level, right? Because it's no longer just sitting there in the grocery store and you just pick it up and, oh, I like this kind of cut of meat.
This is steak.
And and I just buy this, right? It puts an alive animal to a dead animal to, this is how we get the animal out. This is how we package it. This is how we cut it up. This is, if we take it to the processor or if we do it ourselves, or how we have to keep it cool, and all those little learning bits and things that it exactly puts it a value, because they are valuable. Everything,
and not from a monetary standpoint. It's a value in the actual substance.
Yes.
And it's more gratifying to eat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even having my kids involved in the butchering process, it's like, it's really cool. I've told this story a couple times, but like, I got invited on these bison experiments through CU Boulder, like a butchering process using stone tools. And I got to come home with a shitload of meat, dude. Like, 300 pounds of bison I've come home with.
Nice.
Like, who's going to turn? I'm not going to turn it down. Yeah, dude. I'll work for that, right? So, not only for the experience, but also the people I was doing it with, my friends, and I'm there with doctors in their title. You know what I mean? Like, it's an opportunity to hang out with those guys and pick their brains about, stone tools and their effectiveness and what they think. And like, these are the experts in it, right?
Yeah.
And then you're all sitting around a campfire eating bison stew at the end of the night. Like, it's just mind blowing. But anyways, coming home from that, there's a whole 2-day butchering process, like 4 hours and another 4 hours. And it's like, getting the family involved is like, hey, first of all, you're not doing anything on the kitchen island, because I'm taking all of it, and there's coolers full of meat on the porch, and I'm bringing it in one piece at a time. We're cleaning it up, and I just gave them each a job. Like, hey, cut these pieces of butcher paper, write on it, bison. Well, it turned into where my daughters were waiting for me to cut it up, and they started making, I was like, yeah, draw on it, whatever you want. So now I have this little piece of art with like flowers and butterflies and shit. It's like, you pull it out, now you have a piece of art, but their connection to it is so much more. And then even to the point where I'm not wasting any of it. If it's obviously dirt or whatever, I'm going to cut it off.
Right.
But even like the sinew and some of the tendons and stuff, we were making dog packages for the dogs. So the dogs are eating off of this now too, So it's like, I even do that with my mule deer. And my daughter loves shepherd's pie. And we made a mule deer shepherd's pie for the first time. Like, I made it with her. And now she loves it, man. Like, she loves that. But
I'm going to have to try that.
She makes it with beef a lot of times, or we'll make it with lamb occasionally. But she's like, it's never the same as the mule deer. And I was like, that's because you saw it from, I wonder if it tastes different to me than it does to somebody that you're feeding it to sometimes. Because I've had people try game meat and they're like, I can't do it. It's just like a psychological thing. I think your taste buds are different.
The other thing I would say too, though, is that what's interesting is if you don't say something to somebody, and the game is well prepared, most people have no idea.
No,
I think when you say, this is mule deer or this is antelope or whatever, most people are like, oh, okay, and they're like, oh yeah, I kind of taste it. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely some
I do that with pickles.
Where
I'm like, get those the fuck out. I don't want anything to do with pickles, dude.
Where you're like, there are some, I would say that I've had some mule deer that you're like, that was, what happened with that one?
Right.
But then there's others where it's like, how can anybody tell the difference? But you could say that about beef too, right?
Oh yeah.
Right?
If you just go and buy like some bullshit beef at the grocery store, that's washed in beet juice and dyed and is bright, and then you go and get like a farm to table like ribeye, and you put them next to each other and do like a blind taste test, dude, you cannot tell me.
No.
You can't tell me
Yeah.
that people are going to.
Like the one thing that I always hear folks say is like antelope. I hate antelope. I'm always like, really? I'm like, man, it always seems so good to me. I don't know if it's because of, how quickly we've prepared it, or how it's been taken care of, or I don't know.
How it's taken care of is a big portion of it, I think, when it comes down to it, like the cleanliness, like keeping dirt off of it, like all those little things. Don't let it grow bacteria. Cut it up right away. Like,
right.
Get it clean. Like, and then the whole bleeding out conversation, I think a lot of people ruin it and waste a lot of meat by the dry aging process or whatever they're doing, or letting it bleed out, man. I'm a proponent. Cut that up and get it packaged as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And eat as much of it fresh as you can without freezing it, which is near impossible, right? Especially if you have an elk or a mule deer or something like that, you're going to have to freeze some of it. But
we savor a lot. I don't know. It's just my wife and myself. So I'm very careful about how many we decide to kill.
Yeah.
Because we do, I give out if we end up having a bunch or whatever, freezer full, I try to give away, enough to people maybe that haven't had it, or maybe they need some.
I stopped giving it to people unless I know that they're going to cook it and I know that they enjoy it. Because I'm like, dude, all the work, because we go through it in my family with the kids and stuff.
Bet.
They love it,
Yeah.
I actually call it cutting board dinners.
Really?
And it creates this bond that we don't get eating just another. If we're having pizza night, like everybody's like doing their own thing.
Yeah.
We're not that traditional sit down at the table as much as I wish we were. Like if it's a nice dinner or a nice occasion.
Yeah.
But those cutting board dinners, I'm like, hey, steak's ready, and I'm pulling it off the grill and it's all on the cutting board. And I have to tell them, like, I got a sharp knife here, but I'm cutting off pieces. It doesn't even make it to a plate. Like they're just
go
hands in mouth, dude. Like, let's go, Dad, when are we having bison again? Like that's,
I had
they're dropping, no matter what they're watching on YouTube or what video game they're playing or whatever, they're dropping that to come to the cutting board because dinner's ready. It's kind of cool.
I had a really interesting experience this last January. We went on a coos deer hunt, and
those things are so wild, dude.
It was a cool hunt. It was fun. There'll be a film that we're gonna put out at the Origins, the film festival.
Oh, okay. Blood Origins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to do their film festival. So our gal Sydney that does all our videography and everything did a film. But anyways, it was interesting because we went into Mexico, and Mexico is Mexico.
Yeah.
I hadn't been there personally. That was the first time I've ever experienced Mexico. It was next level, man. It was something I took a lot away from. But where I'm going with this is ended up killing a coos deer, and we had the option of donating the meat to the ranch. And I'll be honest with you, I couldn't, me personally, take that deer off the landscape and take it home for myself after what I experienced there. There were kids making mesquite charcoal covered in soot, living in tarp wood shacks. And it was like, that was my first experience of like, no, please take this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could benefit off this more than me taking it back to.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of the experience that people get in Africa too on a lot of those hunts, right? Like,
like
you can call them trophy hunts or whatever you want to call them, but it benefits so many people, I think.
That was like one of those times I was like, I mean, we had some of the Coos deer for one of the meals, but yeah, it was like one of those experiences that was just like, oh man, yeah like this is wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being an older adult, and I'd been to, we'll call it third world countries before, but experiencing that and just kind of being like, whoa, like this is next level. And it definitely made me think of all the negative publicity that people get for donating meat back or and there's all different reasons, right? Like there are people that you're like, really, dude, you're not taking this? You're gonna, okay, just because it doesn't fit on your plane,
Right.
but there are other reasons that I would say that, like the Africa stuff that you look at and you're like, yeah, that's big time. That's huge for that, group of people.
Yeah.
To, I mean, and there it is. There's a value on that animal, and that's why they keep them.
Honestly, that's what led me to hunting. Was we grew up like kind of like you were saying, with maybe there wasn't even $100 in the account. There's probably a lot of times that there wasn't anything in there. And say what you will about the welfare or government system, but it's what fed my family, dude, for a lot of years, and if we wanted anything over and above that, we had to put it in a freezer ourselves, man. This was like before the food stamp era or whatever that was, I think, at that time. So it was like, you really enjoyed a Coca-Cola or you really enjoyed steak, and that's why I hunted. And then I found out quickly, like, what tastes the best, like which animals. Yeah. It wasn't that big salty ass bull that was, huge antlers and stuff. It was those older cows, or
those are good.
Yeah. And I still kind of hunt that way. It's like, I get so much more out of it. A lot of times, like even the antlers from the antlered animals that I do, unless it's like a special occasion, I might get it Euro mounted, but typically I'm just giving it to my buddies that are knife makers or whatever, like make something cool out of it. Or I've even cut it up and given it to the dogs as like chew toys, and people are like, what? Like,
so I've gone the, I'm not going to say the opposite way, but like, I mount every animal to me, to pay homage to that animal and that memory. Whether it's Euro or shoulder mount or whatever, but like to me, like in my experience, is like that's what I like your donating it to people to like make something out of it is actually really cool. But for me, it's like I'm like I remember I was with XYZ I some of the people that I've hunted with, have passed on or whatever. Yeah. And I can look back at that and go, oh yeah, that's when we were doing this or doing that, or
that's incredible too.
Just that's my way of looking back on things, Yeah.
I do it with some of my like tools and even like gear, and like I have some like super, you can call them superstition, but they're just sentimental things that I've carried with me since I was a kid, and like pocket knives, and like I look at, for example, like these half face blades, like even like this one's got some history in it, like and it's one of my newer ones, but I have some other ones that are just like the sentimental value in that, when I could turn around and buy another one, which they're not cheap. No. But like what I've done with that particular knife means a lot to me. So like some of the ones that I've gifted have been like blooded, or like these stone tools that Donnie Dust made me. He made me these kind of maybe the first or second time he was on the podcast. Like he naps all these out. But we had them here and they were all pristine like this one. They hadn't been used. And when he invited me on the bison experiment, I said, can I bring some of the stone tools and use them that you built me that are on the table?
No way.
And he was like, yeah, absolutely. So these have all been, this one hasn't, but these have been blooded. That's been blooded. None of these have been blooded, the arrowheads, but like, yeah, even this obsidian was this beautiful, like perfect piece. And look at it now, you know, like it's had to be resharpened. It's got bison blood on it. To me, the history is in that, you know? So it's like, I don't know. I guess
That
I
is
kind of have
really
the same
cool.
kind of connection, but just maybe in a different way.
Yeah,
And you know what's crazy is I get that every time I put down my plate and I'm eating. I'm like, oh, this is this bison or that bison or
yes.
like the skull. Like the stuff that I do have around does have like sentimental value to it, you know?
You know, that kind of brings me back to the previous conversation is you know, we're in the digital era, right? And I've inherited a lot of photos, just in general. The only people that
Like actual paper photographs.
the
Yeah.
only people that kind of exist in my family are an uncle and my brother and sister and a couple cousins. But what I would say is take more photos.
Yeah.
Like take more photos. Like when you're on hunts, when you're on, you know, vacation or whatever, when you're with your family, just take more photos.
Even just with friends, man. Like,
Yeah.
I've really noticed that with some of my friends that are facing some pretty grave things.
Yeah.
And
Take more photos, man.
don't
be afraid to stand up and say, "Yeah, we need to take a photo."
Yeah.
You know, the amount of times that you will see that person in your life for the next few years will be, you know, what, 15? You know, who knows, right?
Plus, you can pass those things down. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how I know a lot of my my relatives that go back 11 generations is it's through a photograph and them telling me, like, it's kind of like that mount on the wall, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this was my great grandpa or whatever
Right.
it was, you know, which is cool. Man, you know what? Another thing that's so cool about podcasting is it's kind of archivable. And
Yeah.
I really, really, man, it's heavy on my heart. I wish I would have got my grandfather, you know, because he's like my hero.
I think about
And
that.
have some of these conversations. And I've even started doing this. I don't release any of these, but I do it with my kids, like just once a month. And then it really plays in the back of my mind too. Is like, you know, this is the 256th episode that we've done.
Really?
Like they're going to have that to go back and kind of really see what my opinion. So that's kind of in the back of my mind when I'm on this microphone is like, better be careful what you say and how you say it. And,
right.
You know, because at some point they may choose to go back and listen. You know? I hope it's still up and somebody doesn't delete it. I don't know how that works. I think once it's out there in the ether,
the
like
internet
on
is
YouTube
forever,
or something,
right?
I would hope so, unless we run into a Y2K incident, everything stops. But it's kind of cool that you can archive some of that stuff. You know, it's an interesting way, and like I'd love to. I need to start having some of these old timer like vets on. Like I'd love to have some guys from like the Vietnam era, or like there's so many people with incredible stories to tell. There's
so many people here in Colorado that, and around the United States, but like just in Colorado that you're just like, wait, so we interviewed somebody, their family settled in Chaffee County. They were like one of the second families in Chaffee County.
That's
and
awesome.
He's only fifth generation. The thing I looked at was like, that's what I look at, like having like kind of like a side podcast over there. It's just like getting people on like that maybe not a lot of people want to listen to, you know, and that's fine. But it's like getting that out there of like, how did we end up like with this and why is this like that? But getting that recorded, that's the one thing I look back, especially for my uncle that was out here, because he had this like knowledge. Specific story is, I was hunting a unit. He ranched all over the valley. Said, oh, go up in this drainage, go down in here, you'll find this water coming out of this thing, and da da da. And I was like, that's really specific. And at this time, he was, he's suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. And holy crap. I literally followed that route and went, sure enough, right there, freaking water and everything out of this specific item. I guess it doesn't matter, but it was coming out.
That's
it was coming out
cool.
of a water heater. So it was a
Wow.
water heater that was placed there from, a long time ago. And it was like one of those things that was just like, he remembered that specific thing that was there, and he knew exactly how to get there. Yeah. And it was like, whoa, and then there's so many things like that I wish I would have been able to videotape or to record, that you could literally play back and be like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, there's a lot of like spots that he would tell me about and say, hey, use this, do this, go up this way. And some of them were a little off, but not far off.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, dementia's a crazy thing. That's one of the things I'm going through with my grandfather right now, because he was a firefighter and just an awesome human being and stand-up man. And like, the dementia thing is crazy, because sometimes he can't remember. He remembers me, but he doesn't remember how we're related sometimes.
Yep.
But like, I was driving him through, he used to be a firefighter in Inglewood and was for a lot of years, and he can rattle off an address and what hospital they used to run to, and like the old stuff, the work stuff. Like, if you asked him how much dynamite to Perel or whatever he needed to move this amount of rock, he could do the math equation still, but like, he can't remember if he ate lunch or not. You know what I mean? Like, it's so mind-blowing. The way that works out sometimes, or if I visited him or called him or something like that. That's a rough one. And like you said, you gotta kind of remember that that's not who they are. It's just,
I found out on a hunt. He got a first season tag, and we went out and packed in with mules and did the whole stuff. And I feel like he was doing it for me more than he was himself, right? And we got to camp, set up camp, did all the stuff. We wake up in the morning and it's freaking 2 feet of snow, and it was like, oh man, this is not good. All the elk are gonna be gone. And he says, do you remember where I put my rifle? I said, what? He goes, yeah, the last time I remember, I had it on the hood of the truck.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, and we were, often nobody's out there. But I started asking him questions, and my kind of like paramedic brain kicked in, and I was like, uh-oh. And we rode down, and then that was just on my mind the whole time, was like, this is not normal.
Yeah.
This is like actually like way out of the norm. And sure enough, we got back, and there the rifle was in the scabbard, sitting on top of on the hood of the truck.
Wow.
And just, just way back in there. And I was like, holy cow. And then it hit, and it was like, oh my gosh. So, and then it was, slow, and unfortunately my aunt, same thing, and she was pretty quick. They both passed away 2 weeks away from each other.
Wow.
And they were married for over 50 years. I mean, amazing people.
Yeah.
Amazing people, but that was like one of those things, like, that I like, man, I wish I would have taken more phone calls and recorded it, or just video.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's something that's really cool that I urge, people to do, is just take a little bit more to heart and time,
Yeah.
especially if it's somebody that has so much life experience and they're trying to share that with you. Like,
Absolutely.
listen, dude, because
Yeah.
I was young and dumb sometimes too, and just
Right.
like, it's not important to me right now, you know? Like,
I would say the other side of the coin is too, is if you have the opportunity to teach somebody something,
yeah,
take that time,
absolutely.
teach them, because there's people that want to get into this stuff that maybe they don't have a role model or idol, or, and not saying that people have to be a role model or idol, but just like take the time to teach a younger generation something. It can be anything, right?
Yeah.
Skateboard, whatever, baseball, whatever. It doesn't have to be hunting or firearms or archery or anything like that. But just take the time, because that will impact somebody more in the long run than you could ever imagine, especially somebody who doesn't have that role model, idol, or father figure, mother figure, right? That is super impactful.
I couldn't agree more with you on that.
I look at that, and our next door neighbor was a big duck hunter, and I never got to go duck hunting with him.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, maybe it was my mom didn't like him, or whatever. He was an older guy, and it's not his responsibility. But I look at that and I go, man, maybe I'd be a bigger duck hunter, or I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Just things like that I look at, that now when I see younger generations and kids that are interested in the things, I'm always like, oh man, like.
Yeah, I think it's, especially if it's youth wanting to pursue a passion.
Yeah.
Or something, like, I think that's huge, man. Because there's some crazy decisions that are made it's kind of a left or a right turn at those ages. And like,
right.
Who knows, man? You give them that little bit of knowledge and it's enough to keep them out of prison. If you're a guy like me, like I'm very thankful for the influences that I had, and, uncles that didn't need to take me, but were willing to, and stuff like that. Like if I didn't have that, I'd probably be in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's stepping up. That's a big thing. People did step up. I would say people stepped up huge for me, and in my life, that they didn't have to.
Plus, there's so much gratification. There's so much self-gratification in just genuinely helping somebody without expecting anything in return. And then also seeing that level of excitement like you did in that 6-year-old boy, like that's
huge.
You can't replace it. You can't replicate that. Mm-mm. You can't replace it. That's something that he'll remember forever. It's like, I always say, as much of a pain in the ass as it is to like go on a vacation with the family or whatever, like those are the memories that I'll never forget, is like going to Montana and floating a river for the first time. And or my first like real backpacking trip, like to camp. Like I'll never forget those. And so many life lessons, it builds so much confidence. And after that, I was a maniac, dude. I was like, oh yeah, I can go anywhere, Nothing's going to stop me.
The amount of life lessons that you can learn in the woods is pretty wild. And you fast track somebody, right? Like, oh, this is how you do this, that. Those things, when you run into people that are, I would say, our age, that aren't able to do that, you're like, what happened to you?
Or their ego gets the best of them.
Yeah.
And they feel like they're too good for that, or like why, they take that knowledge and they kind of hoard it. Yeah. I think that's one kind of cool thing about podcasting too, is like anybody that I've talked to that's other podcasters in the area or whatever, it's kind of like this community where you just help each other, man. It's kind of back to that like tribal community where it's not like competition or like, but I think a lot of guys get caught up in like, oh, I'm going to give away my hunting spot and then it'll be ruined for me. And there's like, all that sort of stuff. It's like hunters sometimes are the worst in like seeing somebody else win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
ego.
There's a lot of that. It's really interesting too when you're like, you can't draw that tag every year.
Yeah.
Like, why are you hoarding that? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I look at it, great experience behind our buckles. So we built these buckles for the big three and also youth hunters. So what it is we built 5 buckles for sheep, goat, moose, and then 5 buckles for youth. And we give them away. You don't have to buy them. You just have to come into the shop with your tag and present your tag, your online successful, and you get a buckle.
That's
and what
cool.
that came from was a buddy of mine, Eldon, drew his goat tag last year. And I was able to help him with some scouting and also the pack out. I wasn't able to be there for the day of, but I helped him with the pack out. And the big thing that we came across was we were talking on the phone, and I was just like, in other states, everybody, hell or high water, will be there, right? They're going to be there for the hunt. They're going to be there for the experience, even though they don't have the tag. They're going to help. And we need to bring the hunting community back to that.
Yeah.
Right? So the buckle is really a bigger symbol of bringing everybody back together, not for money, not for, something, but just as like a, hey, I drew this, I got there, I got one, and I'm going to have my friends come and help me. And if he drew a sheep tag this year, and he was one of the first ones to get a sheep buckle.
Yeah.
So I was
That's awesome.
So we've been, just talking back and forth on that. And I was like, man, I want to be there. I want to be there for that, because you look at these other states and specifically, I don't know, I watch enough YouTube and pay attention to people that you look at some of these guys in Arizona, right? And they're like their brother's sister's uncle from second removed is at the camp cooking dinner for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? They have 15 dudes out that are helping with the sheep hunt or whatever. And we get more people that come through the shop that are maybe from out of state, or maybe they're from in-state. And they're like, oh, yeah, I got a sheep tag, and I'm just here solo. And you're just...
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the success rate, good
Yeah.
luck, dude.
Yeah. And I just look at it and I go...
That's kind of what's cool about Rocky Mountain Bighorn Society and the rendezvous that they just had. If you draw a sheep tag, you can go in, and a lot of guys in there with maps showing,
That's
hey,
coming
this is
up.
where you might have some success. Yeah, they're doing a half-faced at a custom knife that they're auctioning off. And
so they just had the rendezvous banquet, but then they have the meetup where everybody who has the tags, I think that's in June, I want to say, where everybody who comes in who's had the tag or has the tag, so they can share information.
that's super cool.
I like that.
On both sides.
Yeah,
right?
I love
Whether
that.
you're getting a tag and getting the information, or you're the guy giving
Right.
it.
Well, you love it because if you've ever experienced that, and I've only really experienced one, but we ran into a issue of them going up one side of this trail and it being a hellhole.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to come in through a different side of the trail that was like a Sunday drive. And so it was that's one of those things that could be shared at that, where somebody could say, hey, they're over here. Don't take this route. You might kill yourself.
Right.
That type of information sharing, I think, is super cool.
I think you can do that when you're in the woods, even during archery season. I've made friends that just, at first I was kind of cursing, right? Because,
Oh, yeah.
not cursing, but I guess I've made a lot of friends out in the backcountry or just in hunting camp at base camp because they're camped next to me or whatever.
Yeah.
And it becomes this communal thing. And then next thing you know, I'm hunting with them.
Right.
Next thing you know, they're helping me pack my elk. I'm helping them pack. We're having success together, man. And it's like,
there needs to be more of that. I
Yeah.
mean, I get it. We're all out there to be successful, but measure your success differently, maybe a little bit, right? Because, like, if one dude's going this way and another dude's going this way, well, don't blow through the middle,
right.
Like, you know, have a conversation of like, hey, we are over here. Do you guys want to go this way? Or like, you know, we can go to a different place or whatever. I don't know. I just, when people do stuff out of spite is when it's just poor, just like, it's poor
that's
form.
dumb.
Poor form,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You know, you just look at it and you go, no, that's not how you should do that.
Yeah.
You know, have a conversation. You know, you see somebody on another hillside, just, oh, okay, well, we'll go over here.
Right.
You know, you never know. I mean, man, I've seen some people harvest some cool stuff just because they changed it up a little bit.
Right place, right time.
Oh, man.
It happens, you know, so.
I don't have that luck.
Yeah, I don't either. Everything I've gotten, I've had to work really hard for, but I guess it makes it that much better.
Yeah, at the end of
So,
the day, yeah.
Or that's what I tell myself.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
shit, Adam.
Yeah.
We should probably wrap it up. We're going on 4 hours right now.
Jeez.
So
Cool.
But yeah, dude, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
no.
coming up. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. I can't believe it's
Thank you.
yeah, this late in the day. You just got to come back.
Yeah, man.
We'll just have to do
That's
this
cool.
again. So Salida Gun Shop.
Yep.
.com.
SlideGunshop.com. It'll direct you everywhere you
Yep.
need to go.
Everything's in the show notes. We almost ended this 2 hours ago. So if you're still listening, thanks for listening to us. Support Adam.
Yeah.
Keep up with everything on the wildlife policy side. And if you want some information on the gun side, listen to the Salida Gun Shop podcast. Adam, thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, thanks,
for
Bobby.
being here. Thanks for being
Appreciate
a friend,
it.
most of all.
Yeah,
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thanks for listening to the Mountainside Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to do this already, please take a moment, follow, like, subscribe, or rate on whatever platform you catch the Mountainside Podcast at. If you'd like some more information on upcoming episodes, safety tips, access to all of our affiliates, and all the badass discounts that we get here at the Mountainside Podcast, check out themountainsidepodcast.com.